Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BeNeLux Pro Championship 2025. This is STIHL Timbersports at its best in the northern areas here, and we have a crowd gathered to watch these athletes battle and go for the title here between Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. We have a full list of athletes, 14 participating athletes today who will compete in 3 rounds, leading us to the hot saw at the end of the day. Round 1 has 3 events: the underhand chop, stock saw, and standing block. Round 2, the single buck and the springboard, and round 3, the hot saw. See who makes it there as we start to eliminate athletes throughout the entire day. We have a full competition lineup for you, as I said, with 14 athletes competing in the first round, and we'll whittle that down to 8 athletes in round 2 and 6 for the final round. And we are going to now bring out some important individuals onto our stage who are key to this event happening without a problem. Of course, our on-stage judging staff, our referees, Bart Janssen coming up right now, and Andrew Hall. They will be taking care of what's happening on stage today, as well as making sure that all what happens on stage is fair. Of course, we have our video judge in the competition control center. That's Jules Janssen. There he is. And he has control over all of the high-speed cameras and will be able to check timing and any false starts or anything that might be going awry out there. And of course, the director of International STIHL Timbersports, it is Spike Milton, that man right there, as he gets ready to come up onto stage. Spike, a former athlete himself, knows this sport intimately, so he is the perfect individual to be our international sports director. All right, and from STIHL, of course, John Bosmans and Natalia Gross, who are responsible for this region and will be also taking care of our award ceremonies. Okay, let's bring up our athletes as we go along. And we saw earlier on Camille van Remdonk competed in the rookies. Well, we have Florent van Remdonk, his granddad, out there. But in the meantime, we are bringing up our athletes. So Koen Martens coming up right now, recently getting back into action. Then Robin Cuvelier. David Bergen coming up onto stage now. He is a big man, tall and lanky, but has power for days. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses here today. Now Schmidt coming up now. Bruce Galen now coming up on stage, competing for Belgium. It's more or less 7 and 7. 7 Belgian athletes and 7 Dutch athletes competing here today. Next coming up from Belgium, Cedric Femonville. This is a chance for these athletes that are on stage today as well to gain points in the European rankings in order to be able to make it to the World Championships. And now coming up onto stage, one of the oldest competitors in the field and also the grandfather of Camille van Remdonk, Florent van Remdonk, an absolutely fantastic man. Very, very much fun to watch compete. Next coming up onto the stage, Red McNoll. Now, just recently, he made some major strides, big confidence boosters for him, doing well in the Champions Trophy a couple of years ago when we held it here in the Netherlands. And he is continuing to improve, making sure that he gets himself down to Australia on a regular basis to compete and train there. Coming up onto stage now, Ben Terpstra, also one of those guys that we can keep a close eye on to be on that podium today. He's a very, very strong competitor, and he'll be pushing to be one of the top three. Next up, Martin Harms. A real gentleman, absolutely fantastic competitor, and another one of those guys we want to keep a close eye on to see how well he does today and whether he can make a podium spot. It's going to be about his fitness and whether or not he can be consistent. Now coming up on the stage, Elko de Beer. And almost finished with our introductions here. Just a couple of more athletes to come up. Edwin Doost next up. And up now, Eugen Gerdes. A real powerful individual. Just having a ball up on stage with the guys. And that's the way it should be. And Ariane van Vliet coming up onto stage now. And that will round out our 14 athletes that will be competing here today on stage for our BeNeLux STIHL Timbersports Pro Championship 2025. It seems like our live announcers are very much ready. It seems like our crowd is very much ready. It's increasing by a factor of 10 here as the people hear the noise and see the athletes on stage. And now we are going to check out the competition format to see how this is going to go down today in our 3 rounds.
The STIHL Timbersports individual competition. In the first round, all athletes compete in 3 disciplines: the underhand chop, the stock saw, and the standing block chop. The times achieved will be converted into points upon completion of each discipline. In round 1, a difference of 1 point applies in each discipline, thus the fastest athlete receives 12 points and the slowest only 1 point. Any rule infraction will result in a disqualification and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. At the end of the first round, the athletes with the lowest scores are eliminated. Only 8 athletes make it to the second round. In this second round, the remaining athletes compete in the single buck and the springboard for increased scores. With 2 points difference between placings, the fastest athlete now receives 16 points and the slowest receives 2. The 2 athletes with the lowest total points are eliminated at the end of round 2. Only the top 6 reach the third round. In the third round, anything is still possible in the hot saw, as an increased score interval of 3 points applies in this final round. The fastest athlete can score up to 18 points at the hot saw, the slowest only 3 points. The athlete who manages to achieve the highest total score across all 3 rounds is the new champion.
All right, so there's our competition format. So we know that through the 3 rounds, that's what's going to be happening. And now let's get ready for the first round and our first discipline of the day, underhand chop. Check it out, the Tulin discipline.
The axes used in timber sports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store. Made from special steel, the blade is hand sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. The weight is around 3 kilos and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you could shave with it. Underhand Chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
All right, so there's our start list for our underhand chop. 7 heats, 2 gentlemen in each heat. We're going to start things off with Florent van Remdonk and Ariane van Vliet. There we go, Florent van Remdonk, 72 years young, up against Ariane van Vliet at 33 years. Tail of the tape has the advantage going to Ariane van Vliet by a few seconds, but you never know what's going to happen there with the underhand chop. It's all about trying to see how we get through. So we're going to keep a close eye on these competitions here, as these guys want to try and get the quickest time possible and get as many points as possible.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Here we go. First heat of the pro men.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good start by both gentlemen as they are on pace with each other right out of the gate. Florent van Remdonk on the right-hand side of your screen here. Ariane van Vliet on the left-hand side from this angle as they both get into that first side. Both of them opting for narrow cuts as Ariane van Vliet moves over to the second side of his block just ahead of Florent van Remdonk. Remdonk going a bit deeper on that first side to try and make less work for himself on the second side. And now Van Vliet starts to pick up the pace on the second side. He thinks he maybe feels like he can get through there fairly quickly. Gingerly over to the other side. Van Remdonk now moving to start the cuts there. And what an action for him as they just get towards the 43-second mark. Van Vliet almost through that block. A couple more drivers should do it as he is close to getting a time in the marker here. And let's see. Oh, it's getting a bit sticky for him here at the bottom of this cut. He's trying to get through there, but something is holding him back. Meanwhile, Florent van Remdonk is getting good work on the first side or the second side of his block. And Van Vliet is through in 1:01.94. So he has set the time to start this day off. And Van Remdonk, 1:09.41, a personal best for the 72-year-old. And he's happy about that. Fantastic.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
Well, chopping wood will keep you young, and Florent van Remdonk is proof of that. Great job. Gets himself a 1:09.10. Both of these guys dropping personal bests here, so that's very, very nicely done, as our crew will come out on stage and we'll take a look back at some of the slow-mos. Here we can see Van Vliet moving over to the second side of his block, and he actually started to pick up the pace in his drivers on the second side. Looked really, really good. Florent was still trying to work on that first side, going a bit deeper, and as I said, I think he wanted to do less work on this second side. It worked out for him as he managed to pull away with a personal best at just under 1:10. So a great job for him as he stepped down from that one, knowing he was through that block, no problem at all. All right, next heat, heat number 2, Cedric Feymanville against Koos Galen. Tail of the tape definitely has the advantage going to Cedric Feymanville with a personal best time under a minute. Koos Galen, 1:21 was his best time so far, so let's see if he can improve on that in this heat here. Wood seems to be chopping quite well today, so we'll see if that stands firm for the rest of the heats coming along. Here we go.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1. 1, go!
Nice first drivers there by Guus Galen. Feymonville. He's got a big chip there that needs to come out. He does get it released finally. Needs to cut low on that block to get those lower pieces out as Galen has moved over to the second side of his block, looking very good on this cut so far. Feymonville still on his first side, hasn't opted to move to the second side, going very, very deep there as he too tactically wants to maybe cut away less on the front side. Steadies himself and starts the drivers on that front side. We should see a very good time, a fantastic personal best for Galen as he gets through there in 39:37, cutting nearly a full minute off of his time, about 45 seconds faster than his previous personal best. So a great job there. Cedric Feymonville struggling a little bit on the second side, got a couple of sticky axes in there. You can see he's got a bit of salad there that's got in his way. So his tactic of going deep on the first side didn't work out to his advantage here, and he actually went over his personal best time by a good 10 seconds.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, so Guus Galen has just set the pace for everybody here today with a fantastic 39:11 personal best, cutting a significant amount of time off of his previous personal best of 1:21:35. And you can see he really went for it, motivated and obviously trained hard in the off season to make sure that he was ready to go here, chopping lots of blocks. And he got through there. Very, very pleased with that time. Absolutely should be as well. So far, out of 4 athletes, we've got 3 that have got personal best, so the wood is chopping very, very nicely. It's been good wood with a ton of records falling this year. So underhand chop, heat number 3 coming up. Edwin Doost up against Ben Terpstra.
Are you proud of yourself?
I'm very proud.
Yeah, you can be. You can be, really.
My goal was this year to be here.
Yeah.
So I already did that.
You told me this morning, yeah.
My goal was to chop on the 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And I did that as well.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
What is your favorite discipline?
I would say standing block.
Standing block. Still to come. So we first have stock saw, then standing block. How is the wood?
The wood is really soft.
Yeah.
So I don't have many axes. So I hope the axes don't stick. But
Well, the thing is, if you don't have many axes, you don't have stress to choose one. So you have to to use what you have.
And that I will do.
Okay. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Geweldig gedaan.
All right, a quick interview with Guus Galen, who just got the fastest time of the day so far, as we take a look again at heat number 3 with Edwin Doost and Ben Terpstra, both adept at the underhand chop as our stage is ready to go. And a couple of big fellas with a lot of power coming out onto the stage here. Very, very interested to see how Ben does, because he is been pushing the envelope for a few years now and has always been close, but not quite there. Let's see if maybe this year is the year for Ben Terpstra. Got to be able to choose the correct block here, though, first there, Ben. So you can see he got first place at the Dutch qualifier, so obviously highly motivated and completely trained and ready to go.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Ben Terpstra on the right-hand side of the stage from stage front, and Edwin Doost on the left, opposite right now. So you see Ben Terpstra on your left and Edwin Doost on the right. Both of these guys getting into it with pace. So, and look at Ben on the left-hand side there. He's already switched over to the other side, a quick balance check, and he starts working on the front side of his block, facing the audience here. Edwin Doost now coming to the other side, about 3-4 drivers behind Ben. as they both get into that second side now. Ben looking very good. Boy, his targeting is on point. His lines are nice and clean, and he should be through this block fairly quickly. One more drive or two should do it. Here we go. Oh, he's got a sticky part of the block there at the bottom. Steps down, back up into 38-38. I think they're going to time that up a little bit. Edwin Doos with a 40.85. So I think probably these guys will be closer together than what the time actually resulted there. We'll see when the Competition Control Center has a go at their official times here. Let's see.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
Yeah, there you go. So Edwin Doos' time stays about the same, 40.58, slight adjustment there. Ben Terpstra, 39.96. So just a couple hundredths of a second, or a couple tenths of a second, slower than what was actually marked by our spotters at the front of the stage there. But that puts him right now in a solid second place, 85 tenths or 85 hundredths of a second slower than Gielen, who is at the top of the rankings currently. So right now, Ben Terpstra sitting in second place and in a very good position here. A quick step down, but adept of him to get back up there before making that final swing. And both these guys should be happy about the times they got there. No personal bests for either of them, but they are among the top three as we check out our next heat lineup, Arnaud Gouchmet and Eugen Gerdes. Eugen was getting up on stage, and he was just full of beans, full of energy as he came up on the stage. So expect to see some of that energy transferred to his underhand chop here today as well. Arnaud Gouchmet and Eugen Gerdes. See if I said those correctly. I certainly hope so.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Right into it with pace, and there's that energy we talked about from Eugen Gerdes. On the left-hand side of your stage, a quick step down by him as he gets right back up on top and chipping out very nicely. Got a little bit to work on the bottom of the block there, but he went deep on that first side. Meanwhile, Gouchmet has moved to the other side of his block, about 5 or 6 drivers ahead of Gerdes. Gerdes now on the second side of his block and trying to get that pace continued on the second side as he is cutting nicely right now. He's got some great targeting, no salad at all, chipping out nicely. Gouchmet doing the very same thing, although aiming for more power, and Gerdes got it. Gerdes with a 40.92, and Gouchmet almost through. A bit of a sticky axe on a couple of drivers, going for the big power drivers, and that puts him in too deep, and it's hard to drag that axe out afterwards, but a couple more drivers here should do it, as he is almost through, and he's got it in 58.53. So both under a minute, with Gerdes getting the faster time of the two at 40.92.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, so far so good. No disqualifications at all through the first few heats of this round one. So we are 4 heats in with 3 more to go as we take a look back here, and you can see Arnaud Gouchmet was really getting his axe stuck in that block quite frequently. So this has a lot to do with axe choice very often, whether or not you have the chisel or the banana or half banana or so. Meanwhile, though, Eugen Gerdes, he did a great job. And I mean, he took that energy he brought up on stage and continued in this first heat. And we're going to head over to the stage and get a quick interview with him.
Equal.
Yeah, equal wood.
Okay.
But tough.
Yeah, but tough. Yeah, but for your age, you're doing very good. You did the competition in Wales for 3 weeks ago. It was a good competition there.
Yeah.
How do you like it here?
Yeah, it's a nice crowd and nice weather, good wood, everything good.
I'm gonna ask the same question from all. What is your best discipline, or what discipline do you like the most?
Springboard I like the most.
Oh, then you have to advance to the next round. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you hopefully in Springboard.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye bye.
Geef hem nog een applaus, Eugène, dames en heren.
Okay, so next up we have the Underhand Chop heat number 5 with Robin Cuvillier and Elko de Beer. A couple of guys that are pretty close together as far as the tail of the tape is concerned, showing pretty even times between the two of them. So Robin Cuvillier with a 37.32 personal best, and Elko de Beer slightly faster with a 30.86.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right. Elko de Beer got in there right quick. A little bit of a delay by Robin Cuvillier. And both of them digging deep on that first side. Wow, that was a quick first side from Elko de Beer as he shifts over about a half stroke above or ahead of Robin Cuvillier, as they are both on the second side now. And we may see a good fast time from both of these guys here. And it looks like de Beer is almost through that block. I say 2 or 3 more drivers should do it for him. Oh, he got a sticky axe there at the bottom, and one more, and he's done it 33.51, fastest time of the day so far. Robin Cuvillier also trying to find that line. He got a bit of a skip there as he jumped over some leftover wood that was in his way. And now he's done it in 47.66. A little bit of an interesting final hit there as he brought that whole log up. So right now, Elko de Beer with the fastest time of the day so far with a 33.26.
Okay, congratulations. Both guns are good.
Time is official, there we go. And we have the check marks on the timing system, so that means Elko de Beer, the fastest time of the day with a 33.26 underhand chop. Really nice start from both of these guys. We can see Elko on the left-hand side of your screen. It was just, the wood was just exploding away from that block. So obviously the correct axe choice and the wood running really well. Robin Cuvillier, a little bit of a skip in there as he ran over some material that was left lying. But great job by both of these guys. And Robin Cuvillier currently 6th in the underhand chop with a 47.33. So he is not far off the pace, but he does need to do some work in the next 2 disciplines as we head to our heat number 6 of 7 with Martin Harms and David Bergen. I'm really, really looking forward to see David get into this underhand chop. As you can see, both of these guys have very, very fast times, under 30 seconds. And if any indication of how the wood is cutting today, I could well see them being close to the 20-second mark for both of them. Martin Harms clearly has got his fan club as well as David Bergen. I see a couple of signs that went up that had David's name on it.
Gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So here we go. David Bergen, such a tall guy, can really use that whippy action of his long frame to get those big chips flying out, and he has done that. In fact, he should switch to the other side quickly. There he goes. Both of them moving to the other side. 2 really different styles. Martin Harms going for power drivers in there. David Bergen really working with that accuracy on that first side at least, and on the second side now just utilizing that long frame of him to get through, and he's done it in 33.56, not as fast as I had expected, but he has gone through in a good time, so just slightly slower than Eelco de Beer, sitting in second place. Martin Harms has got himself a hard spot in the middle of that block there, and struggling a bit as he nears in the 20-second mark, and he switches back to the other side. But something's happened to the hamstring of his leg. He's holding the back of his leg, so this is a problem for him. Something has gone wrong. He's such a warrior, though. He wants to keep going through. Yeah, it looks like he might have pulled a hamstring at the back of his leg. Bart Janssen so right away in there to grab that axe from him and make sure that he can get to the decision zone as they check on him really quickly. David Bergen with a great run, though, 33.36. So
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
0.10 seconds slower than Eelco de Beer, but sitting in second place right now on the underhand chop. Let's take a look back here. You can see both these guys getting right into it with full power. There you see the feet of David Bergen, basically eclipsing that block that he's standing on because he's got such big feet as a tall man. And on the other side, that final driver for David at the 33.36 second mark. Good job. And Martin Harms pushing hard to get through there. Okay, so a couple of guys now coming up in heat number 7, both of them holding the national records for the underhand chop. Redmer Knoll, 17.84 for the Netherlands, and Koen Martin, 17.62 for Belgium. And these two guys know each other well. They've battled each other many times in the past. Koen Martin's coming back from what could be called an injury. He was struggling with a problem with his forearm, had to have an operation, and only started in mid-May to get back into form. So the fact that he's out here competing is quite a testament to his fitness level and his dedication to the sport. All right, guys, getting ready on stage here. A couple of absolute legends. Redmer Knoll, 3-time national pro champion. Koen Martins, I don't know, 84 times, something like that. It's ridiculous. Here we go.
1, go!
You can see both of them getting into it fast. Koen Martins, quick pace. Redmer Knoll, same thing. Redmer over to the other side. Half a driver ahead of Koen Martins. Koen Martins now working on that second side quickly. Redmer Knoll getting close to the edit on this one. He's done it. Another national record. 17.78 for Redmer Knoll. Will that hold? And Koen Martins in 24.49. That puts Redmer in top spot. Koen Martins in second place, pushing everybody else down 2 positions. What a heat that was, folks. Fantastic run by Redmer Knoll, though.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, it's official, a new national record for Redmer Knoll, who continues to improve. And we've seen massive strides from him in the last 2 years. And it was such a mental challenge for him for years before. And then he just had a break. Something happened. He changed. Something went and started working for him. And he has been on a tear ever since then. It doesn't hurt that he's been training a lot down in Australia with the Australian team and coming back with a weird accent. Yeah, and Redmer knew that was a good run. He knew he had a good cut there. Koen Martins, also great job. So here we go. Underhand chop, Redmer Knoll, Koen Martins, and Eelco de Beer, the top 3 guys in the underhand chop with David Bergen in 4th place. That will be your overall standings, as this is the first discipline of the day. So that is the first discipline of round 1. Second discipline coming up is the stock saw, and this is where after the stock saw we'll start to see some changing in the overall rankings. So let's take a look at the tool and discipline for stock saw coming up next.
The STIHL MS661CM stock saw is used in STIHL Timbersports as the ultimate test of operator skill. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc, and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional STIHL technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark. 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
Well, 10 centimeters isn't a lot of space to cut 2 cookies, but these guys are all professionals, and we will start off with Arjan van Vliet up against Ben Terpstra here in this first heat of the stock saw. Then Guus Kelen against Eugen Gerras in heat number 2. First one, Arjan van Vliet and Ben Terpstra. And you can see both of these times are really, really close, and Ben is actually very, very close to the national record of 9.56. So let's see if he can pull that off with a good cut here. Now, the stock saw is an interesting animal because it's not about power or strength. Of course, you have to have that in order to be able to control the saw, but it really is about knowing the piece of equipment, listening to it, feeling the vibrations. If you push too hard, that chain will stop and bog the saw down, and maybe the motor will stop, which is a disaster. If you don't push hard enough, though, it won't cut efficiently. So it's about finding that really clean balance between power and feel and touch. And let's see which of these 2 guys has it in this heat number 1.
Okay, gentlemen. One of your swords. Fleet, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good even start by both gentlemen. Oh, beautiful transition by Ben Terpstra, who should be faster through this one. And, oh, I don't know what happened there, but Ben Terpstra had to go back and cut another one. I didn't see a cutout, and Arjan van Vliet came real close to the line there. So if he did not cut over the line, he'll have a national record. So we have a real close call here on the stand 1 by Arjan van Vliet. If he cut the line, then he will have a DQ, and that national record will disappear. Ben Terpstra had to go back and cut another cookie. I didn't see what actually happened there, but I could imagine that he had a cutout.
So we have a disqualification on stand 1 for a cut line. However, this cut is good.
And it does turn out that Ben Terpstra's cut does count, and it is a good cut at 9:05. He has got the new national record. So I would like to see Ben Terpstra's again here. So he's got a real thin cookie there. Very, very nice cut to start things off with. And then transition was quite beautiful. And then he went back and cut another cookie, and he still was fast enough to get the national record. That is incredible. He had to go back and cut another one because of, I believe, a cutout on the first cookie, or perhaps it was an angle in cutout on the second. I didn't see the angle correctly, so I can't tell you. All right, heat number 2, Guus Kelen against Lage Vuursche. Last preparations on stage, and the blocks are then marked for the competitors to know the line that they have to cut up to or within. Again, 10 centimeters to cut 2 cookies is not a lot of space under the pressure, so there is quite the amount of technique and targeting that is required here with the stock saw. So here is where that energy from
gentlemen,
Vuursche needs to
warm
be
up
in
your
control.
swords.
Vuursche.
Athletes, ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A little bit of a hover there by Vuursche. Nice transition by Vuursche. Oh, good cut, and we have another national record there, 9:12. And Vuursche with a 9:27 sitting in 3rd place. So let's see if this is going to hold up. After adjustments, it might even be faster.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
Yes, in fact, it is 8.98. Another national record falls by the wayside. So Ben Terpsla's national record of 9:05 just went away, and Vuursche has a 8.98. So that is a great cut. A little bit of a hover right there from Vuursche, but here the transition, and he had a fat cookie on the upcut, so he probably could have been even faster had he made that cookie a bit thinner. Great control from these guys, and so far we have not seen anybody go over the 10-second mark, and that bodes well for how this wood is cutting as well as the skill levels of these operators. All right, so we have been around for a long, long time. It is the original extreme sport, but STIHL Timbersports itself has been around for over 40 years, and we are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. Check it out.
Woodsman who can cut down a tree more easily than most people can chop one up. When it really comes to tackling large lumps, you can't beat the men of the forestry companies.
An axeman's gathering.
All right, folks, that was my fault. I introduced the 40-year clip. It's actually the history clip and the original extreme sport. It's been around a lot longer than 40 years, but I should mention that STIHL has been doing timber sports events for 40 years, since 1985. Maybe we'll get that clip out for you a little bit later on, but that was our original Extreme Sport clip, and it really is, as we step into heat number 3 with Redmer Knoll coming on stage along with Arnaud Huschmidt. Now, both of these guys have times around the 10-second mark, but based on how the guys have been cutting today, we may well see quicker times. We'll see. This is for Redmer, it's a bit of a love-hate. He's not really a saw guy as far as the motor saws are concerned. Chopping and single buck, no problem. But let's see if he has been working on this discipline. It's one of the disciplines the guys tend to work the least amount on because of what's needed in the other disciplines as far as skill and time on the block. Here we go.
Athletes, ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, very nice start by Knoll. Holy smokes, folks, they're both in it quick. Nice transition by Huschmidt. Hey, look at that! A new world record. Can it be? Can it really be? 7.57 for Redmer Knoll. And if that stands, we have a new world record in the stock saw. Oh my goodness. Now standing with bated breath to see if both cookies are fair, and do we have an official world record?
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
It's official. Wow. Holy smokes, folks. A beautiful cut by Redmer Knoll gets him a 7.46 and a new world record in the stock saw. Oh, wow. Fantastic. Look at the start of this cut. Really quick start by Redmer. He got right into it. Transition was fantastic. Arnaud's cut was also amazing. He had a bit of a thicker cookie. Look at the transition from both of these guys. Straight line cut through there. Oh, fantastic cut. Both of them dropping huge cookies at the end. But who cares? They got through fast. And Redmer Knoll is at the top of the rankings and probably over the moon right now with a world record. Arnaud Huschmidt with the second position, and he is in interview right now.
How do you feel?
Yeah, pretty good actually. I didn't prepare for that, but especially on stock saw. Not really my favorite discipline, so really happy with it.
Red is red and stays red. Good luck.
Thank you.
Like I said, not his favorite discipline, but today it certainly is. Wow. So now we have a new world record for the guys to focus on, a 7.46, and we're moving on to our next heat, heat number 4, with Cedric Feymonville and Elko de Beer. And man, Redmer Knoll will be sitting on pins and needles seeing that cut and knowing that it isn't his strongest discipline, that there are better stock sawyers coming up. The question is, can he hold on to that speed that he got in that world record for a little bit longer than a day? We'll find out. And so far, I'm looking at our times up to this point. Not a single cut has been under or over 10 seconds. The closest we've gotten to 10 seconds is 9.30 seconds. So this wood is cutting really, really, really well today.
Athletes, ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start. Oh, Elko, his saw stopped. So Feymonville with the advantage going on that upcut with a really nice thin cookie to start it. 10:41, he's got a personal best, and Elko had to restart that saw. He's got a 12.36. What happened there? Got into the top of the log, and I think the chain stopped the motor, and he had to restart everything. Luckily, those MS661 saws are so dependable, you just have to pull the cord and they go. We'll see in the slow-mos, hopefully, what occurred there with Elko de Beer, but he is not happy. Our first athletes to go over the 10-second mark, both of these guys here.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
So 10:32, a personal best for Feymonville, and Elko de Beer with a 12:19. He is not happy about that. Let's have a look again here. Yeah, he had to restart the motor. I think he got up there and, oh, he didn't even touch the block. I think he might have hit the motor cutoff. Ah, terrible situation. That is a real gut check for you, but you know, he stayed calm, restarted the saw, and he got a time in the block, so at least there's that. Worse would have been if he had a DQ, and that's not something you want to have. Okay, next heat, heat number 5, Martin Harms up against Florent van Remdonk.
Dus wat een ongelofelijke prestatie van Redmer Knol. Dat belooft voor de rest van de wedstrijd.
Just talking about the previous owner of the stock saw world record here in the arena. It was from the French National Championship just 2 weeks ago, and that was Roger Géhin. And I talked to Roger afterwards and asked him, so, you know, it's pretty legendary that you've got the world record. And he says, yeah, I've always been a legend, though, so it's all good. Very funny, man. All right, so Redmer Knol now has the new world record in stock saw as we get ready for these two gentlemen on stage right now. And that is Martin Harms and Florent van Remdonk.
Athletes, ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start by Martin Harms. Florent van Remdonk. Nice transition from both. Good upcut for Martin Harms. 9:19 personal best. 10:34 personal best for van Remdonk. Great cuts on both sides. Nice times. Uh-oh. Do we have an issue here? Just got close to the line, and looks like they're going to do a video check. Not sure here.
Okay, congratulations.
Nope, all good. So I was reading the situation wrong there. So personal best for both Martin Harms and Florent van Remdonk. There you see the start from Florent. So thin, beautiful start cut. Same thing for Martin Harms. The transition here is key. Bit of a swing there from Florent, but he had a nice thin cookie on the upcut, and Martin Harms controlled that one very well for that final hit. Heat number 6, Robin Cuvillier up against Edwin Doost. All right, both these guys getting ready to rock and roll here. Robin Cuvillier with a PB of 10:04. Edwin Doost 9:60. And as we've seen, this wood is cutting fantastic today. Let's see if one of these two guys can make a claim for the top spot on the podium today with a good cut here, maybe, meaning the stock saw podium. Redmar Knoll holding on that world record time of 7:46.
Athletes, ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very nice start from Robin Cuvier. He got in there quick, no hesitation at all. Good transition from Edvin Dost as he is through quick. Whoa, how close were those? 9.50 to 9.53, folks. That is a tight finish on both sides. Hey, I like it. So Robin was a bit quicker on the entry into the block, but his transition had a bit of a swing. Edvin Dost slower, but his transition was beautiful on the upcut. They caught up with each other and more or less tied that one. So let's see what we have for times here. After adjustment, it looks like it's going to be, there's some discussion about the cut here, though, as they're looking for a complete cookie. So do we have a DQ in this? Oh, yellow flag for Edvin Dost here.
Okay, so we have a disqualification for an incomplete cookie. However, this cut is good.
So Robin Cuvillier holds on to his time of 9.42. Unfortunately for Edvin Dost, it literally came down to millimeter work to check the cookie, and it became an incomplete cookie, and Edvin Dost has the DQ, and there it is right there, that little slip off the top, and that means he got too close to the slip. Now, had he moved over just a bit, another ½ centimeter more, then he would have had a complete cookie, but unfortunately, he didn't, and that was the reason behind his incomplete cookie, that little slip right at the beginning of his cut, and that is a heartbreak there, because it was a really, really nice cut from Edvin. So, next up, we have the final heat in Stocksaw. Koen Martens up against David Bergen. Both these guys really close together. David Bergen, a solid Stocksawyer, 9.52 and a 9.34 respectively here. So we'll see if one of these two guys who are very, very solid with a Stocksaw in hand can make a challenge for the top spot here and perhaps a new world record. David's fan club, all dressed in yellow, screaming for him, supplying him with a lot of support here today.
Okay, gentlemen, warm up your saws.
Here we go.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice start. David and Koen both. Koen Martens with a beautiful transition. This is going to be a good cut for Koen Martens. It's a personal best for both. 8.74, 8.94. Nice solid cuts for both gentlemen, and they move into positions 3 and 4 in the Stocksaw rankings, and David Bergen is going to be definitely pleased with that, as his fan club is absolutely over the moon.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, so when I look at our scoring list here, we have of 14 athletes that have competed thus far, we have 11 personal bests. And of those personal bests, we have a national record from Arnaud Goedschmidt and a world record from Redmar Knoll. So Stocksaw has been an exceptionally successful discipline here today during our BeNeLux Championships 2025. So this one will be one that goes down in the books. Let's see if the data has been updated on the webpage. Not yet, no, but taking a look at our overall rankings here, our Stocksaw rankings, excuse me, there you go. Red McNull with the season's best and world record, of course. Then Arnau Kutschmidt, then Koen Martensen, David Bergen, then Kus Galen. And then in the overall rankings, the top 5 guys more or less stay the same. So you can see now how things are starting to shift around a bit. Red McNull winning both of his first 2 disciplines. So he is in a good position with 24 points so far, and his consistency playing a big role in where he stands right now in the overall rankings. All right, the team getting the stage ready for our next discipline. That is the standing block chop. Now, you already know what tool they're going to use in this discipline. Let's take a look at the discipline itself.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
Okay, so if you want to get involved in the conversation, there is our hashtag STIHL TIMBERSPORTS in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. We also have another hashtag called Kiss My Axe. Maybe they'll show that one as well. And you can jump on if you are so inclined onto our social media channels. There it is, hashtag Kiss My Axe. And get involved in the conversation, find out more about your favorite athletes, and just generally stay in contact with STIHL TIMBERSPORTS as we take a look at the starting lineups here for the standing block chop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this third discipline of 3 in the first round is very, very important because it has to be points made here to become among the top 8 guys to move on to the next round. We will eliminate the remainder of the groups there, so we're going to take out 6 guys from this group here and move on to the next round. All right, so heat number 1, we have Arjan van Vliet up against Cedric Feymonville. Some last-minute preparations, getting the single buck stands ready because we'll be jumping straight into single buck following our standing block chop. And again, we're taking only 8 athletes from the remainder, from the 14 into the next round. So here's where gaining points on the standing block chop is going to be a critical step for the athletes that are competing here. All right, guys are coming up on stage now. Arjan van Vliet and Cedric Feymonville.
En ondertussen staan Arjan van Vliet en Cedric Feymonville klaar voor hun standing block chop.
All right, there seems to be a bit of a discussion about the block there for Cedric Feymonville. but it seems like it has been clarified, so we will start in competition here.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Feymonville with a bit of a sticky axe there. Van Vliet getting into it and chipping out nicely right away. Feymonville getting some chips coming off of his block now as well, as the two dig deep to try and get into those blocks and really make it through as quickly as possible. Remember this discipline as well, folks, because later on, when we get down to our 8 athletes, they'll be competing in a discipline known as Springboard, where they have to do this, but up 2 meters in the air. So just keep that in mind as Feymonville now moves over to the second side of his block, but he is about 6 or 7 drivers behind Van Vliet as he starts working on his second side. Wrenches out a couple of pieces there, which is okay as long as he doesn't wrench that block off the top when he is finished with his cut. Van Vliet getting close to coming through there. He really wants it. He's trying to aim for those big drivers just to get through there. 1 or 2 more clearing hits from down below perhaps is what he needs. And Feymonville is coming close to it as well, but Van Vliet has done it in 59.93. Feymonville, 1 or 2 more drivers for him as well. It's going to be just one in 1:05.53. And he does a quick check of his axe to make sure everything is in one piece there.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, so both cuts are considered officially good, and the times have been slightly adjusted, so both of the guys are just a little over 1 minute time on the standing block chop. There you can see Feymonville with a little bit of a sticky axe in his first 2 drivers, and from our fixed camera positions on the deck up there, you can see how Arjan Van Vliet was really going for it. On that second side, he was trying to find a line through there, but needed to do 1 more cut from down below just to clear some extra material out of the way. And then, oh, it looked like it was going to hang there on him, but finally let loose, and same thing there for Cedric Feymonville. Okay, heat number 2, Arnaud Goedschmidt against Florent van Reemdonk. Our stage crew still cleaning up on stage there. It is a critical aspect of the competitions, especially in this discipline here, because you don't want to have any of that sawdust or any of the chips from the previous heat lying around those blocks, because when the guys move around the blocks, if you step on something like that, you potentially could slip out, and that could injure a knee or a hip or an ankle, and with that sharp axe in your hand, you just definitely don't want to be falling down. So our stage crew plays a very, very, very important role in the safety of our athletes on stage.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ooh, quick start from Florent van Reemdonk. I hope that doesn't cause him to be getting a false start there. And Arnaud Goedschmidt's getting into it as well on their first side. So let's see who's going to switch to that second side as Florent van Reemdonk chipping out nicely. He doesn't have the power of some of the other guys, but his accuracy is not that bad on those downward strokes. He's pretty well lined up. Florent van Reemdonk looking good. Arnaud Goedschmidt moved on to the other side already as he's cutting through as they both pass the 30-second mark here. Van Reemdonk still on his first side. And Arnaud Goedschmidt now picking up the pace a little bit on that second side, maybe feeling like he's pretty close to getting through there. So Arnaud Goedschmidt with a 49.73, and Florent van Reemdonk just rounding out onto the minute mark here as he's working on that second side here. Fantastic. lots of support from the audience here. He's got 10 seconds left to get through this one. He should be able to do it in a couple more drivers here. He's got a bit of a sticky axe there. Oh, but he's got a hard one now, as he really needs to try and get through there. That's going to be a DQ for Florent van Reemdonk. And the whistle has blown, so he must stop chopping. Couple of steps there, but generally pretty clean with his drivers.
Okay, so we have a disqualification for exceeding the time limit. However, the cut is good.
All right, Arnaud Goedschmidt has a good cut, 49.45. Unfortunately for Florent van Reemdonk, that is a DQ for exceeding the time limit. That was quite interesting to watch Arnaud on his second side as well. It almost seemed like he increased the pace of his drivers as he got into the cuts on that second side. And here you can see Florent van Reemdonk chipping out nicely. His accuracy was quite good on that first side, but the power just wasn't there to get through as quickly as he would have liked to have. And that final pop of the block off the top there, very, very nice from Arnaud Goedschmidt. All right, taking a look at some of the competitions that have been and are still coming your way. You can watch the Nordic Pros, the British and the Czech, and the US Women's Pro and the US Men's Pro, all on video on demand. And we are currently live streaming the BeNeLux Pro. Tomorrow, we're going to be live streaming the European Trophy, a fantastic format. If you love action at its best, that is one you want to check out. Then we have the German, Swiss, and the German and Austrian and Swiss Pro Final happening on the 30th of August, 13th of September, Australia. Then the 24th and 25th of October, the Team World Championship and the Individual World Championship coming to you from Milan, Italy. It will be on live stream, but if you can be there, tickets should still be available, and you can find out more at data.stihl-timbersports.com. So please do check it out, and if you can be in person at one of these events, it definitely is worth it. The vibe is alive at each of them, and it is something incredible to witness. That was a quick change on stage there as our boys had gotten things set up quickly, and one more block to secure as they need to change one out for an athlete. All right, standing block chop heat number 3 coming your way with David Bergen and Hughes Halen. So it seems like we are complete and ready on stage as we'll bring up our 2 athletes now, David Bergen and Hughes Halen. Again, this discipline is about gaining as many points as possible to make sure you are among the top 8 moving to round number 2. Here we go.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Guus Helen getting right into it quick. David Bergen, his tape time, let's put it this way, his best time is well faster than Guus Helen, but we saw Guus Helen really destroy a time earlier on, which he wasn't expecting, but was happy to have, and he's obviously been working hard on it. He moved to the second side of his block. He wants to try and get this in under 59.93, which is his personal best time now. David Bergen's already gone well past his personal time, but Guus Helen might be right there as he's trying to get it, and it looks like it's going to go for him in one or two more drivers. Oh, he's got a sticky knot there, and he's done it in 42.65. A personal best for him. Good job. And that is some big improvements for Guus Helen. And David Bergen looking for that final driver and does it in 52.42. Struggling on that block a little bit.
Een tijdje uit het circuit, maar nu helemaal terug en met een vaste supporterschade.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, so the cuts are good and they are logged in officially, and Guus Helen takes over the top spot in this standing block chop. So he's got himself some good points right now. Can he hold on to them though? We'll see as the times start to get quicker as we move up the lineup of athletes that are coming up on stage here. And there you can see that final drop of the block for Guus Helen. Great job, and David Bergen struggled a little bit on this one. He's definitely been faster in the past. I don't know, he chose, it looked like he had a wedge instead of a banana. It seems like the banana is working well on these blocks today, but that's again a personal choice. All right, next heat up, heat number 4, Edwin Doost going up against Eelco de Beer.
Edwin Doost en Eelco de Beer, 46 respectievelijk 48 jaar. En personal wedstrijd vergeleken voor Edwin 33,50 en voor Eelco 24,13.
All right, stage is ready for our two athletes as they come out now. Edwin Doost, stand 1. Eelco de Beer, stand 2. Or in this case, stand 2 and 4.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, Eelco de Beer, Edwin Doost getting right into it. Love the pace from Eelco de Beer and Edwin Doost, both going at it with some chop. Pardon the pun. Both moving over to the other side of their blocks at the same time. These guys are well matched up here in this heat. Going quick. Edwin Doost looking good. Eelco de Beer dropping a couple of nice big chips there as they fly away from that block. These blocks sound a little bit harder for whatever reason, I don't know, but Edwin Doost close to it. Eelco de Beer right on top of it. Oh, slips that one through, and Edwin Doost does it just a hair ahead of Eelco de Beer. Eelco's got himself a sticky block, and now a 45.73 for Eelco de Beer. Edwin Doost with a 39.90. Oh, it was so close, too. I thought for sure Eelco de Beer was going to have that. That block was wiggling and waggling. Axe slipped through, and then he just had a real sticky grain that was holding on to that block at the top like it didn't want to let it go.
Congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, so let's take a look back here. And you can see even in slow-mo, the pace that these two guys set right out of the gate. Super quick off to the other side. There you see Edwin Dost starts working on that second side. Both of them pretty much right on point with each other. And right here, it was 2 drivers for Edwin Dost. Elko de Beer had one that slipped through, and then he just had a sticky block that just did not want to let go. And he had to do 2 or 3 more drivers to get it off the top, finally dropping it at 45-44 was the official time now. Edwin Dost with a 39.72. So Edwin Dost now has the fastest time in the standing block chop, moving everybody down a notch there. All right, folks. So again, we're showing you our hashtags, hashtag STIHL TimberSports and hashtag KissMyAxe if you want to get involved in the conversation. And if you want to follow up a little bit more about the athletes, you can go to data.stihl-timbersports.com and find out about the athletes, about world records. You can find out about locations and upcoming events, and all you need to know basically about the world of timber sports. And you could see there in the background all the guys doing such a fantastic job to get that stage ready. 3 more heats to go in the standing block chop and in round 1. We've had 3 disciplines in round 1 with the underhand chop, stock saw, and the standing block chop. And now we are looking to get some points for these athletes as we head towards round number 2 and the elimination of 6 athletes from our 14. Okay, here we go with standing block chop heat number 5 with Eugen Gerdes and Robin Cuvelier. Eugen Gerdes, who was all about the energy when he came out on the stage, still is a bundle of energy, and Robin Cuvelier on stands 1 and 3 respectively. Robin Cuvelier on 1. There is Eugen Gerdes.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Nice chips coming out for both guys here. Eugen Gerdes looking good on his first side. Robin Cuvelier, can't see his block, but you see some chips flying for him as well. Robin moving over to the other side of his block. That might apply some pressure to Eugen Gerdes. He now moves over to the other side of his block, 4 strokes behind Robin Cuvelier. Ooh, big chip falls off the bottom of that block. Cutting narrow on the second side, Robin Cuvelier is. Both wiggling a little bit there. Robin looks like he might be through it. 40.93 for Robin. And Eugen Cuvelier, Gerdes, excuse me, has got it in 49.06, so he's done it in under 50 seconds. Good job there. So Eugen Gerdes at 5th place right now, with Robin Cuvelier sitting in 2nd place with that 40.60 time.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, both cuts count. Handshakes are all good, and we step out to take a look at the slow-mos here. Eugen Gerdes. See the power that these guys are hitting with those chips just exploding out of the blocks there. And this was the moment where Robin Cuvelier went around to the other side and started hitting there. A big chip came off of his, and then maybe applying a little bit of pressure to Eugen Gerdes, but he didn't panic. He went around to the other side and got himself set up and ended up getting through the cut in 48.86 official. Okay. Next heat, heat number 6 of 7 in standing block chop. Martin Harms up against Ben Terpstra. Hopefully Martin's leg will not bother him too much. It looked like he might have pulled a hamstring or maybe one of his adductors on the inside of his leg during the underhand chop. So I guess he was probably back there with the medical team and perhaps getting a little bit of treatment and a massage to make sure that he can still do this. We did get a report that he wanted to see his way through and try and make it to the next round. And at the moment, he is sitting currently in, let's see, where is he at? Martin Harms is sitting in 11th place, but he has not done this event yet. So if he gets a good time here, he could jump into the top 8. So he's not that far out of a spot. He just needs to have a good cut here. Ben Terpstra, he's been solid throughout the day. He is sitting in 10th place at the moment. He too can jump up significantly in this heat.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, good start by Martin Harms. The leg doesn't seem to be bothering him all that much. It was his left leg during the underhand chop that was the problem, and he is pushing hard off of his right leg and really using that power. Ben Terpstra and Martin both moving over to the second side of their blocks at the same time, and they are pretty much on point with each of their drivers coming in very, very nicely. Ben Terpstra chipping away really well there as he's got some great aim. No steps hardly at all for Ben, and it looks like he might get through there quick. Great time for Ben Terpstra. A 33.62 puts him at the top of the rankings in standing block. And we're not far away from Martin Harms cutting his block off the top as well. Needs 1 or 2 more drivers to get through there. Can he do it? He needs some pressure on that block. Oh, he's got a sticky one though. Left a little bit too much material. Here comes the final cut. There it is. 54.86. Ah, that puts him in a troublesome spot. 9th position in the overall standings. That means he is out. Let's see. We'll find out when we get to the final results here.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
Wow. Interesting stat here. That's only been one guy so far that's had a personal best, and that is Hughes Helen. See here the power that Martin is putting into that block. Might have left a little bit too much behind on that first side. You could see here Ben just hammers that thing out in the left field, and Martin trying to find the line, finally does it, and he gets through there. But it was 1 or 2 drivers more than he probably should have had, and that leaves us with 1 more heat to go here. And that's Redmer Knoll up against Koen Martens. So Ben Terpstra has got himself into a good position. He is currently in 5th place with 20 points. That is still because he's got the fastest time, but there are 2 guys still to come. So theoretically speaking, he could drop down 2 spots, which would give him then 10 points, if that is in fact the case, if these 2 guys that are coming up next, and that would mean that he would have 18 points, and that would still have him among, well, might put him out of the rankings here. Let's see. These 2 guys have to get through this block, though, as Redmer Knoll and Koen Martens get ready to go for their standing block. Both of them holding personal or national records for their respective countries.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yes, both getting into it nicely. Their pace is good. Koen Martens Oh, Redmer Knoll quick to the second side. Koen Martens about 5 or 6 strokes back now of Redmer as he has moved on to his second side. Redmer Knoll pretty close to it here. He really wants to have it through. He's getting a big sticky axo and he's got a bit of a problem. And somebody stopped the time on him, but at 25, I think it's going to be for Redmer Knoll, maybe around 24 and change. When they finally do get to the adjustment. Right now it's showing 22.96, but I'm pretty positive that is going to be adjusted up. Koen Martens with a 24.78. There might be a small adjustment there for him as well.
Okay, congratulations. Both cats are good.
Yeah, Redmer Knoll gets a 25.43, Koen Martens a 25.73, so both those two guys end up atop the standing block rankings, with Ben Terpstra dropping into 3rd place in the standing block, and that means Ben Terpstra will have enough points to be among the top 8, along with Guus Helen, David Bergen, Elko de Beer, Arno Goedschmidt, and Robin Cuvelier, and we will drop 6 athletes from the ranking. We'll check that out shortly after our slow-mos here when we get the results from the standing block chop. Oh, and you can see there Koen Martens, he just had it hanging by a hair and he's like, oh no, oh my goodness. And here you can see Redmer, he really wanted to get through there, but every driver pushed that axe down at an angle and he just couldn't get through that final cut until that last one right there. So, standing block chop results, Redmer Knoll atop the rankings there, with Koen Martens in 2nd place, Ben Terpstra in 3rd, Edwin Doost in 4th, and Robin Cuvelier in 5th. And we take a look at the overall rankings now, and that means we are going to lose 6 athletes from the bottom of our list, and we'll find out who those 6 are just in a second when we go to our round 1 screen. So here we go, round 1. We see underhand chop, stock saw, and standing block chop. Now we're going to place the guys in their respective positions in standing block chop, and we'll see. Remember, top 8 athletes will move on to round 2, and that means Redmer Knoll, Koen Martens, Guus Helen, David Bergen, Ben Terpstra, Elko de Beer, Arno Goedschmidt, and Robin Cuvelier will be in round 2 to compete in single buck and springboard. And we see the remaining 6 athletes are eliminated from competition here today. So next discipline up for us is the single buck, and let's take a look at the tool and discipline that we'll be seeing coming up.
The 2-meter-long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter-long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into 2 types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old-school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos and its base price starts at around 1,500 euros. Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
All right, there's our start list for the single buck. Only 8 athletes, remaining, 4 heats. And we'll have Robin Cuvelier and Arno Goedschmidt out on stage here in this heat number 1. Then Elko de Beer will go up against Ben Terpstra. Here, points will be increased. Now the top points can be earned, are 16 points. And that means these 2 coming disciplines, the single buck and the springboard, are very, very important for gaining as many points as possible for the athletes to be able to be among the top 6 to get into that final round, the hot saw. We got a lot of action still to come your way, but it will go quick here as these next two disciplines are quite challenging. So there we see Robin Cuvillier and Arnaud Houtschmidt will be in our heat number 1. Arnaud Houtschmidt does not have a personal best logged in yet. So if he gets a clean cut today, he will have his first personal best knocked into place.
Ondertussen zijn Arno en Robin op het podium gekomen met hun respectievelijke singlebug-verzagen. Zij zullen als eerste deze proef tot een goed einde proberen te brengen. Ja, je ziet dat er op het podium nu. Zij helpen elkaar. Ik zie vooral de singlebug-proef mocht je ook nog een lichtje erin tikken. Dat is allemaal nu nog wel gaat niet meer. Dus één man,
Robin seems to be communicating with the block.
Ja, inderdaad. Zo werden die grote stukken hout van vroeger ook daarover geraakt. Dit was ook met 2 personen, dit keer is het 1 persoon. En ja goed, kijken wat deze 2 heren ervan terecht brengen. Ja, ze mogen een stukje ingezet worden, zodat je niet zomaar van de top moet beginnen, zodat de zaak eruit kan vallen of in je adrenaline kick en in één keer inderdaad een misslag maakt. Je mogen het daar zeker hebben. En dat verandert met een beugel die de scheidsrechter in de handen heeft. Allemaal precies even diep.
All right, here we go.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
So Robin Cuvillier opting to go for quick, short, choppy cuts. Meanwhile, Arnaud Houtschmidt goes for the long strokes, the very efficient strokes. Cuvillier keeps that saw moving, but you can see it's a little bit more efficient with those long, clean strokes. Oh, but a bit of a stick at the bottom, and Arnaud Houtschmidt with a personal best, 18.38. That is a great cut. Robin Cuvillier broke out the cookie at the bottom and had to go back and cut that chip, cutting his time down to 25.27 seconds. So that was a bit of an issue.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
We zijn nu goed aan het sparen voor de finale, de hoofdstoom. Dus ook hier alles is belangrijk wat goed.
You can see Robin Cuvillier really working hard with those choppy cuts. Nice from Arnaud Houtschmidt though. He did a great job to keep that saw moving nicely. There's that misery whip action right there, exactly what we were talking about earlier on in the day. And you could see he was lucky he got to keep that saw in position without having to reposition it himself. And he had that tab at the bottom, but that cost him time in the end. So next heat number 2, we have Elko de Beer and Ben Terpstra.
Dat zullen ook de volgende 2 heren merken. Elko de Beer en Ben Terpstra, een Nederlands onderrondje hier op het podium in de singlebug-discipline. We zien ondertussen aan heat nummer 2. Personal wedstrijden te verbreken voor Elko 19.49.
Ben Terpstra has an advantage here because of his height. He can utilize that long frame of his to really work that saw with power and elegance. That's not saying that Elko de Beer can't do that either, but he isn't as tall as Ben is, I don't believe. Ben also opting to take a thicker cookie in the front, so that might drag on his saw a bit more than if he had opted to set that saw in a little closer to the end of the block. And both Ben and Elko are pretty tall fellas, so this might be pretty evenly matched up heat there. Elko de Beer, personal best 19.49, Ben 20.84. So pretty close actually between these two guys.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Two completely different styles. Ben Terpstra opting to use the entire length of the saw. Elko de Beer a bit choppier, a bit shorter cuts, so as he gets a pretty efficient cut through to the bottom. Ben Terpstra binding a bit towards the bottom, but he's got a nice time, 16.77 PB, and Elko de Beer doing the same with an 18.75 PB. Great job by both these guys to cut clean and fast, and they sit atop the leaderboard in single buck right now. Ben Terpstra, the fastest, setting the pace of the day with a 16.77.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
Verbetering van die personal besttijd in de single buck discipline.
All right, here you can see slightly different styles. I mean, Elko de Beer was using a lot of that saw. You can see the tip of the saw disappearing into the wood, but Ben generally used more of it. He went knuckles to tip on that one, so really he had the more efficient run, and that was reflected in how quickly he cut through there as well. All right, so Ben Terpstra at the top of the leaderboard for the moment, but our 3 out of 4 guys have personal bests here in the single buck, so a good start. And we move on to David Bergen going up against Huus Helen.
Maar we weten dat ook Huus bezig is aan een geweldig parcours. Dus misschien komt er ook weer een verrassing op de proppen. Op de Golden Borneo vandaag. Dat is al zijn. Ja. Zo zie je maar dat al die training echt wel de vruchten begint af te werpen.
All right, so here we go. David Bergen, Huus Helen.
Athletes, ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Huus Helen has been very, very good today. He's been dropping some personal bests and showing that his skill level has definitely gone through the roof as he goes for a quick pace. David Bergen opting for those really long strokes, lurching forward at each one and really getting deep into the cut. Oh! Personal best for Huus Helen and a 19.68, and this guy has been on a tear today. Absolutely fantastic run from him. David Bergen with a 23.24.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, let's take a look back here. Oh, it was a very quick start from Huus Helen with a 19.46 time, but both cuts were good, so it wasn't a false start, so it was a really, really nice run for him. He did a great job. I mean, he has been solid today. I think he's had personal bests in every single discipline he's participated in so far. And somebody is definitely on fire to be the next BeNeLux champion here, hey? And he is stoked about that. Look at that fist pump. Oh, and a little break off for David Bergen at the bottom. There's a little tiny tab left over that he had to clean up. Luckily, he had most of it off though already, so it was all fine. So next up, Koen Martens up against Redmer Knoll. This is a discipline where Redmer is really solid. As you know that he's gotten some great tips from some of the best single sawyers in the world. There you see a picture of our audience through those really nasty looking rakers and cutters on that single saw.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Koen Martens also legendary with the single saw, but both of them getting going really, really nicely. Looks very good so far for both of these guys. Pretty evenly matched up through the first half of that block. Who's going to get to the bottom of it? It's going to be Redmer Knoll with a 15.08, fastest time of the day. A little bit of a slowdown for Koen Martens towards the bottom of that cut with an 18.63. And Redmer Knoll with the fastest time of the day by a bullet is on top of the leaderboard. Yes, but there's 4 heats only here, and that was the 4th heat. Unbelievable, and he's done it again. He's got top marks.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
So Redmer Knoll atop the leaderboard for single buck. Ben Terpstra with his quick time in second place with a 16.50. Koen Martens just wasn't quite fast enough to be among the top 3. He's in 4th place with an 18.45. And that was a really, really nice run from Redmer Knoll, who so far has 100% in the heats that he's competed in up till now. He's won every single one. So he is on point to take this thing down. He just needs to stay consistent. But now, our next discipline coming up is going to be the one that really, for me, is going to... It's going to tear apart some guys' points, basically what it boils down to. So single buck score, let's take a look at that. Redmer Knoll atop the leaderboard there. Ben Terpstra, Arno Hoedsmit, and Koen Martens, 1, 2, 3, 4. Elko de Beer around there at the top 5. And let's take a look at the overall standings now. Redmer Knoll well in the lead with 52 points, 10 points ahead of Koen Martens. Ben Terpstra with 32, 10 points back from Koen Martens. So these 3 guys are pretty well on pace to get into each other's hair when it comes to the next heat. Arno Hoedsmit and Guus Gelen are pretty close there as well at 30 and 29 points respectively. Elko de Beer with 26, David Bergen with 25, and Robin Cuvelier with 19. However, we have next the springboard, which is one of those disciplines where it can go sideways so quickly. There's so many things that have to happen. We'll get into that a bit deeper as we get closer to the actual heats here. All right, so while our guys set up the stage, we're going to show you where our wood comes from and why it is so beloved in the world of STIHL Timbersports.
STIHL Timbersports is an international extreme sports competition series featuring 6 disciplines, 3 chopping and 3 sawing. We have a premier competition, we need premier wood. The biggest challenges that I face as part of my role is to ensure that our competitions are supplied with the highest quality wood.
Each individual tree is examined for its conformation before processing. We need to make it fair for all athletes. So we are selecting different sections of the trees to use for each of our specific disciplines.
Once the trees are felled, extracted and transported to our facilities, we measure, mark and then cut the wood into sized blocks. We then peel the blocks ready for competition. After careful selection, the blocks then leave our yard and are distributed internationally to our STIHL TIMBERSPORTS competitions.
All right, so a lot of people ask us, in particular those folks out there that are concerned with our environment, doesn't it seem like wasteful because of the amount of wood that we're cutting and chopping and using here? Well, I mean, from the outside source, that could be true, but we do have a lot of sustainability in our wood, and our management of the wood is very important. And just to give you a little bit of an illustration about that, let's take a look at how this wood is actually utilized after the competitions.
We as STIHL Timbersports pride ourselves that all wood is sustainably grown, harvested and recycled to minimise the overall amount of wood processed. Firstly, this popular wood is grown on certified plantations. Secondly, the white pine for our sawing disciplines is only sourced from certified forest management. After all our STIHL competitions, all the spent wood is collected and recycled right down to the wood chips and sawdust, which, for example, is converted into renewable energy in the form of wood pellets for biomass. We quest to find certified partners. This ensures that all newly planted trees are nurtured and managed, promoting maximum efficiency and sustainability for the future conservation of our valuable forests.
Therefore, as you can see, with good harvesting practices and good management with silviculture, the ground is quickly replaced by new trees, or could even be used for arable for farmers and future rotations.
All right, last block is getting placed in there, and one more time we want to introduce you to what is coming in the near days. So right now we're live streaming the BeNeLux Pro Championships. Tomorrow we'll have the live stream of the European Trophy here. That is a great format. You'll love that if you come and check that out. The 30th of August we have the German, Austrian, and Swiss Pro Final, and that will be live streamed on that day. Then the 13th of September, the Australian Pro Championships. Then the 24th and 25th of October, we have the Team World Championship and the Individual World Championship from Milan, Italy, via live stream. And if you can be there for that one, definitely grab yourself some tickets, because it is something to behold when you are there live for one of these events. The energy is parallel to none, actually. It's just fantastic. So let's take a look at what that looks like as we take a look back at a previous World Championship. Yes?
Here at STIHL, we're known for a wide range of power tools, including chainsaws, grass trimmers, leaf blowers, and pressure washers. But did you know that we've made battery-powered toy versions of these tools for kids too? Our battery-powered toy chainsaw is the baby sibling of the MS500i and is just as exciting for kids. Flick the switch and you'll see the green on light appear. Then give the cord a pull and the chainsaw will start idling, ready for action. Pull the trigger and you're ready to get to work. The chainsaw has a rubber chain that actually moves, plus it comes with an owner's manual, mini toolkit and a spare chain. And best of all, the volume can be adjusted on the chainsaw too, which might be a popular feature amongst parents. Next is the battery-powered toy grass trimmer, perfect for kids who enjoy the outdoors. Just like its full-sized counterpart, the FSA57, it comes with its own removable battery, which can be charged up so the grass trimmer is ready to go. The toy grass trimmer is height adjustable, and the handle can also be adjusted to the right angle. To use the grass trimmer, simply click the battery into the back of the tool, push the safety lock forward, pull the trigger, and away you go. The cutting blade is made from a soft, rubbery material which lights up during use, so kids can pretend to cut the grass while the parents do the work. Then there's the battery-powered toy leaf blower. It comes with a removable battery just like the BGA57 and has an adjustable blower tube too. To use the leaf blower, click the battery into the back of the tool, push the safety lock forward, pull the trigger, and away you go. This toy even has a light blowing force, so your kids can help out with the leaf clearing too. And finally, there's the battery-powered toy pressure washer. It has a 2.4 litre water tank, a 2 metre long hose, and comes with a removable battery to power the pressure washer. To use it, fill the tank with water, then choose which nozzle you want to use, either the standard nozzle or fan jet nozzle, and clip it into the lance. Insert the removable battery, hit the power button on the right-hand side, and then you're ready to go. The full range of our STIHL Kids toys is available at your nearest STIHL-approved dealer or at shop.stihl.co.uk.
I want some of the toys. They look fun. Okay. Still waiting on the springboard stuff to be set up there. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to make sure these stands are in position and locked and loaded. Once the big stands are in, then the blocks will be placed on top. It's required that the athletes place those blocks on top on their own so that they can't complain about somebody putting the block up incorrectly or not the way that they had planned on putting it up there. So there's a lot of things that need to happen to make sure that these blocks are placed up on top as correctly as possible for each athlete. And remember earlier on when I said during the standing block chop to keep this discipline in mind, well, this is what I was talking about. The springboard is essentially the standing block chop 2 meters up above the ground. So I will explain to you what's all happening there as we get closer to that particular discipline and why it is so critical for the athletes coming into this discipline now, because it is such a bear to wrestle with, and in particularly it is a very, very finicky discipline. Hey, listen, I talked to you a lot about the vibe and the energy of the World Championships. Well, let's look back at what one of the World Championships previously brought energy-wise and what we can expect to see at the upcoming World Championships in Milan, Italy, with this really amazing clip from a couple of years ago.
It comes down to Mitch Argent and Shane Jordan battling hard on the standing block. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Australia or New Zealand? Oh my God, how close is this? And it's Australia!
The atmosphere last night and the team's relay was unreal.
That is their title of Team World Champion 2 years in a row.
Oh, definitely. It'd be the noisiest crowd I've competed against.
Shane Jordan's already over there.
Yeah, it's I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps thinking about it right now.
The crowds here, they were just erupting.
You feel the energy of the crowd.
My goodness, what a great comeback from Belgium with a time of 1.
The crowd was absolutely electric.
And it was so much noise and support.
Ja, doch, das pusht schon rum und mein Fanclub ist auch da.
Very passionate about their country and, yeah, the competitors.
Yeah, it feels super.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
It's pretty awesome to compete in front of a crowd like this.
But he's not giving up. He's looking good.
Like such an adrenaline rush. It's an amazing feeling.
They make a lot of noise, and that's good for our spirit. Is it going to be the Czech Republic? And the crowd goes bananas. It's absolutely extreme here. Man hört.
BGA30 is the latest addition to the AS System range of battery tools from STIHL.
This lightweight handheld leaf blower is compact and ideal for cleaning and clearing jobs you may face at your home, such as clearing driveways, patios, garden furniture and paths. It's powered by an interchangeable 10.8 volt AS2 lithium-ion battery, which can be used in other AS system tools, such as the GTA26 pruner, HSA30 hedge trimmer or FSA30 grass trimmer. The BGA30 can be converted from a short to a long blower tube quickly and efficiently too. Each nozzle length has different advantages. For example, the short blower tube is designed more for clearing leaves or debris off garden furniture, whereas the long blower tube is designed for clearing on the ground. The BGA30 is easy to handle and has an extremely low weight of 1.7 kilograms with the recommended battery. It also has a variable trigger which lets you control the blowing force, extending the working time of the AS2 battery. When used at maximum power, the BGA30 will have a working time of 8 minutes. When used at a lower power, it will have a working time of 25 minutes. When using the BGA30, we recommend wearing protective eyewear, gloves and sturdy footwear. The BGA30 can be bought as a tool only or as a set with 2 AS2 batteries for longer working times. For more information, speak to your local STIHL approved dealer or visit stihl.co.uk.
All right, you can see preparation still frantically going on stage there as our athletes get their blocks on top of the stands. And it is a lot of work to make sure those dogs are in place to keep those stands secure and make sure that the stands themselves stay in position when these athletes are up there on their springboards. And as I mentioned earlier on, they want to have their own blocks put up. They have to put their own blocks up in place and secure them in the position that they want to have them in for the competition here. One more block to go up and get secured in place, and then there'll be some changes going on in between heats 2 and 2 and 3. And we only have 4 heats on stage here. Springboard will be heat number 1, Robin Cuvillier with Arno Houtschmidt. Heat number 2 will be Elko de Beer and Ben Terpstra. Then we'll have another block change. Heat number 3 will be David Bergen and Hughes Helen. And heat number 4 will be Koen Martens and Redmark Knoll. There is a 2-minute 30-second time limit to get through those blocks on top. The best in the world can do it in under a minute. And as it is an incredibly difficult discipline to be good at, you have to have so many different factors that play a role to make sure that you can get there. Setting your pockets on time, getting the boards in place to make sure they're stable enough to hold your weight when you're up there. And for some of these guys, that's going to be a major contributing factor because we got a few big boys that are competing here, and they want to make sure that they're on a block that's going to hold, or a board that's going to hold them steady up at the top of their block so that they can really do the work. And you want to make sure that you're in a position where you can cut efficiently and cleanly. So it looks like the last couple of screws are going in on one of the blocks there, and we are more or less getting ready to go as I see Ben Terpstra drilling his block into the top of his stand right now, and it appears as though Robin Cuvillier is also putting the last bits of work into his stand as well. No, excuse me, it's Elko de Beer drilling in there right now. So again, these guys are battling for a position here in the European ranking. There you see Matthias Klima at the moment is atop the European ranking, and it is based on this ranking who gets to go to the World Championships in October. And so there you see Pierre Puy-Barret from France also in there, Emil Hansen from Sweden also in there, Martin Perrin, Mickey Perrin from Italy. Glenn Pendleton is in the mix, as well as Vibjorn Sonsteby and Gavin Thompson. Now, Vibjorn Sonsteby and Gavin Thompson at the moment are bubble athletes, so it's going to come down to how the results come out of this BeNeLux Championships, as well as the Germany, Austria, Swiss Championships, to see where we stand with our athletes moving on to the World Championships. All right, it looks like we're more or less ready, so let's take a look at the discipline springboard and what it entails.
Springboard. Springboard simulates the traditional way of felling trees, climbing up over thick roots. First, notches known as pockets are chopped into the log. 2 springboards are then anchored into these pockets. The athlete then climbs up to chop through a 27-centimeter thick block of wood in the fastest time possible.
Sounds simple, right? Phew, not. So here's what has to happen. The athlete has to chop that pocket and put the board in there. If you spend too much time on the pocket, it can get a little bit wobbly and your board may not sit correctly. If you don't spend enough time cleaning the pocket properly, though, your board might slip and get wobbly. If you're quick with the pocket and really pay attention to getting it in there, then you can get up on that first board, set your second board, and then get to work on that top block. But if your top board, your second board, isn't secure, then you're going to feel uncomfortable up there, and you're going to start positioning yourself to make sure you feel comfortable, and we'll illustrate that as we go through. There's so many different things that have to happen here, and I'll try and talk you through it as we go through the discipline so that you get a better understanding of it, because it is very, very complicated, and there are so many things going on, and you have to be a real all-round athlete and timber sports athlete to be able to really be good at this. And this is something that they've started to do with the rookies, training them on the springboard with a single board so that they come to the pro level having had some experience with springboard underneath them, instead of just coming into springboard at the pro level and 2 boards cold. This is also a reason why they have a 2-minute and 30-second time limit for this discipline, because of safety and because of the fatigue that occurs with all that's going on mentally and physically with this discipline. All right, here we go.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
En we zijn betrokken Ronnie Cuvelier en Arno Goudschmidt. Het Belgisch Underhoedje. En ik weet hoe ze zich voelen. Voordat dat afstellen is, zijn ze heel zenuwachtig. Totdat hij de eerste stap doet, dan is dat wel weg. We moeten nu inderdaad een eerste.
All right, Arno Goldschmidt with now, I think he had 8 hits in that pocket. Robin Cuvelier took 10 hits to get that pocket, and the boards are in place. Now you can see from the images here, the boards are springy, which is why they call them springboard. But you want to get the angle so that you feel comfortable enough to put that foot well back. And you can see with Arno Goldschmidt that it's sagging a little bit. So he is very, very close to that stand when he is setting his next pocket. And this is where the drama entails. Or begins, because you want to make sure that second pocket is good enough so that you have enough of an angle on the board so that when that tooth bites in, now here we see Robin Cuvelier, he's got a good angle on that board. He can put that foot well at the back. He feels confident with it, and he can get going on that top block. He's already passed the minute mark there, and Arno Goudschmidt is now placing that second board. Now, if he gets that in place and that tooth doesn't grip properly, then he's going to have a problem, and he's already gone down with the board there, so good that he tested that quickly, because the last thing you want to have happen is that board do that when you try and step up on it with that sharp axe in hand. Meanwhile, Robin Cuvelier is deep on that first side, and he'll get close to switching to that second side as he is doing it now from that awkward angle. And you can see his foot placement is also quite interesting. He is opting for a parallel stance on that board as he tries to cut through that backside and not bothering to switch to that wide stance. Now he's going back to the front side because he's done some hits on the backside. So if he wants to cut through on that front side, he can, but it's just one little hit. and 1:52.64, close to the 2-minute mark, and he is through. So we have our first recorded time here, and it's going to be a problem for Arno Hoedsmit here because he's done a lot of work on that pocket, a ton of house cleaning there, and now he's got to get that board in because he has only 20 seconds to make the cut through on that top block, and at this point, it is unlikely that it's going to happen for him in that 2 minutes and 30-second time limit, and he is going to be DQ'd with exceeding the time limit. And I don't think he really realizes that yet, but he's got 5 seconds left. He's going to get that board in place, and he'll hear the whistle, and that is done and dusted for Arno Hoedsmit, unfortunately. But this is what it boils down to. This is all about getting those pockets placed as quickly and efficiently as possible to get up there and start cutting at that top block. It is a standing block chop 2 meters up in the air, and you really have to have your position on point to get up there and make those cuts. So we have 1 DQ and 1 set of points in the books for our springboard.
So we have a disqualification here for exceeding the time limit. However, this cut is good.
So Robin Cuvelier has a time in the books of 1:52.23. That will be the time to beat for the moment, as the team gets out there and cleans up, and we take a look here at that first pocket from Arno, who was actually a little bit quicker than Robin getting the first pocket placed, but you could see he had a bit of sag there, and he took just way too much time on that second pocket. The best in the world will do a 4-hit pocket, get the board in, do another 4-hit pocket, perhaps 6, get the board in, and then start working on that top block. And you can see right here, the board went in, the tooth took purchase, and then he got the whistle. Right here is the test, though, when the board came out, and he went down with the board. So, again, it's such a dangerous discipline because of what's happening there. And here you can see Robin Cuvelier with 1 final driver on the back there after working the front again. And it's going to be Elko de Beer now going up against Ben Terpstra. And you can see both of these records over the minute mark here. Elko just 8 seconds over a minute, and Ben Terpstra with 1.5 minutes and change. Again, Ben Terpstra, the first place Dutch qualifier, so he'll be looking to improve on his 1:35 time on the springboard. Elko de Beer also wanting to get under a minute here. That's going to be important to try and be under a minute to get the points that he needs in order to move to the top 6.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, Elko de Beer, 4-hit pocket, very nice as he gets that board in place. A little bit of sag, but the tooth did take purchase and is holding him in place. Ben Terpstra took about 8 hits to get his pocket set, and he is moving to get his second board or his second pocket set. And Ben Terpstra working Elko de Beer. I think that was about 5 or 6 hits on that second pocket. Does he have good purchase? He does. So he's up there at 30 seconds to start on that top block. It's looking good for him right now. Ben Terpstra gets that second board in place. He might have a little bit of sag there as Elko de Beer starts working that top block there. And you can see right away Ben Terpstra not feeling 100% comfortable on that board as he steps towards it a little bit, which means he's going to have to choke up on the axe handle a little bit to get the power into the block. But it's not going to come from his hips. It's going to come from his shoulders, and that's going to be tiring. Elko de Beer passing the 1-minute mark here. Both Ben and Elko working on the top block now. Elko should be moving to that second side fairly soon here. Ben Terpstra, plenty of power though in his arms as he is cutting very, very well on that first side, and I would not be surprised to see him switch to the second side now as well. There he goes. So onto the second side to try and get through that block. He's got personal best. There, he's done it. 1:26.21 for Ben Terpstra. Good job. Eelco de Beer still working on the first side of his block. He is well deep in there at the 1:37 mark, and he needs to get onto that backside and start cutting through the back if he's going to make it here in under the 2-minute 30-second mark. Right now, Ben Terpstra with the time to beat, 1:26.21 and a personal best. And Eelco de Beer getting close to it as he is getting on the backside here. 1:58, 1:59, 2-minute mark now. He's got 30 seconds to get through there. The pressure is on for Eelco de Beer to try and get through this. And he is well past his personal best of 1 minute and 8 seconds. And that board looks like it's sagging a little bit now as well, so he's got to be wary of that as he is trying to get through those last couple of drivers. 10 seconds to go here and to get through on the backside of this block here. 7 seconds. The time is running out on Eelco de Beer. Will he be able to do it and get through there and get a time? He's done it. Oh my goodness, just by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Man, that was close. And we have a flag on the play for Eelco de Beer. Oh no.
Even kijken naar de jury, want we zagen een heel vlaggetje. Dat betekent dat er discussie is over de proef, maar we gaan even luisteren naar Andy.
Okay, so we made a video check for potential wrenching of the block. However, both cuts are good.
All right, that's one of the reasons why we have those video and the competition control center, is to be sure that all is fair. Our judges sometimes see something out front and they want to double check that in the back, so they'll go back to a video check and see if in fact wrenching was used. So it was not in this case, so both those times count. But how close was that for Eelco de Beer? 2:29.33. He was just a few tenths of a second away from a DQ, but he does have a time in the books. He is in third place right now. Ben Terpstra, however, has the fastest time so far with a 1:26.03. Now, Eelco had the faster pockets to get up onto that top block, but he just wasn't cutting as clean on top, and Ben Terpstra, by pure virtue of the power that he has, managed to cut through quicker and get through in a personal best time of 1:26.03. So right now it's Ben Terpstra, then Robin Cuvillier, then Eelco de Beer. Arno Houtschmidt, excuse me, has a DQ for exceeding the time limit. And we will now take all those 4 blocks off the top of those stands and replace them with our next 4 athletes' blocks. And those will be David Bergen, Hughes Helen, Koen Martens, and Redmer Knoll. So we're going to take a moment now and look at a documentary about Team New Zealand called Behind the Chop that's coming out soon.
I think we've just had a great culture over the years. Got some really good individuals, and together we've always got on really, really well.
You know, real legends of the sport, you know, absolute pioneers of STIHL Timbersports.
Accelerator, brake, come on.
Turn the cameras off, this is embarrassing.
The team always being super close.
They're like a family.
But yeah, they get along really well and yeah, have fun doing it.
Hey, Bobby, where are you?
Australia would be our biggest rival.
2 teams that know each other very well.
To win, you got to put the hard work in at home, and that's what motivates me the most, to want to win, yeah.
On competition day, it's all about focus, getting the job done.
Come on, Shane! Come on, mate! Your corner and go! Come on, mate! Hard! Hard, Shane! Come on, mate!
Kyle Lemon is back in the team. He's our stock sawyer. Jack Jordan, who's our underhand cutter. Bobby Dowling as our single sawyer.
Freeze, mate, freeze!
Shane Jordan as our standing block cutter.
Sorry, mate. Chin up, chin up, chin up.
Competing with the Jordan brothers. We don't need to say much about them. Cole Lemon with a chainsaw in his hand, he's a real legend of the sport.
You're in now, no, you're in!
It's a real privilege to be up on that stage with those three men.
Good cut, good cut. Well done. Fuck, that was an awkward handshake.
So we're a little bit quicker in getting those blocks up on the top. The last few of those security drivers being put into place by our athletes, and you can see the guys up there. David Bergen on the left-hand side, Koen Martens right next to him. Then it's Hughes in stand number 3 position, and Red McNoll doing the work on the right side of your screen on stand number 4. And we should be good to go fairly quickly for our final 2 heats before we eliminate a further 2 athletes and head to our hot saw. And this is going to be an interesting couple of heats here because we have the best 4 guys at this discipline coming up. David Bergen has a 1:14.49 personal best. Hughes Halen, who has been impressive all day long, has only been putting out personal best. So as long as he gets in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds, he will have himself a personal best here as well. And there's been a couple of world's records that have dropped in this discipline in the last few. All right, so last bit of work there on stage as the guys clean up the space. And then we'll get our guys up there. So heat number 3 will be David Bergen and Hughes Halen in stand positions 1 and 3. And the last little bit of cleaning and maintenance work and hammering of those stanchions or dogs into the blocks to make sure everything is stable. And David Bergen is already on stage and ready to go. And so is Hughes Halen, as we see our side-by-side display there. And again, Hughes does not have a time set in this discipline, so as long as he is within the 2-minute 30-second range, he will have a time set today. And as I mentioned, he has been absolutely fantastic all day long. He's had personal bests in every single discipline so far. He was in fact the only athlete in the standing block chop to pull away with a personal best. Did the same thing again in the single buck and springboard.
Athletes, ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Excuse me, not in springboard. He will get a personal best in springboard here today if he can get it done in under 2 minutes 30. So I missed the count, but I think that David Bergen is about 8 hits to get that pocket set, and Hughes not really happy with that, so he's going to go back and do more work on that to make sure that that board sits in place. And again, these pockets are so critical. You got to be accurate and you got to be quick with them in order to make sure that it is exactly what you need to get the board in place and locked down. There's a metal tooth at the end of the board, and that one looks good for Huus as he gets up there now. And David Bergen, a little bit of house cleaning as he gets that second board in place. Now, that one looks like it's got a bit of sag, so that may start to slip on him if he's not careful. Yeah, you can see it's already starting to sag down, so he's got to feel good with that board as Huus Helen starts to set that second pocket in position, and David Bergen is already working on that top block. Board is in place for Huus here now as he is really gingerly testing that situation to make sure that it acts exactly where he needs it to be. It's a little bit of angle on that one as he gets up top there. And this will be one of the very first times that he'll get to do this in competition. In fact, it is the first time he's doing it in competition. So now you can see he's very close to the block. And that means he's grabbing the axe up higher than the end of the handle. And that means that he is hitting with less power. You can see he's not using his entire body to twist in and really put the power. Meanwhile, David Bergen is really close to finishing that block off. Ooh, a little bit of a skip from his axe there as they get close to the 2-minute mark, just 10 seconds away from being at 2 minutes here. And for David Bergen, it is a 1:52.84. Huus Helen working on that top block now, just doesn't have the power or the confidence as that board is sagging a bit on him. And the angle is a little bit strange on the board as well. He's sitting back on his heels, so that provides even less power for him. And he is in trouble now as he's not even gotten onto that second side, so we will not see a PB for Huus Helen here as 2 minutes and 30 seconds will elapse before he gets through that block on the top side. And there you go, DQ, unfortunately for him. And it's down to experience for this discipline because there's so many things going on and so much needs to work exactly right in order for you to do well in this discipline. And as I said, the best in the world can get in under a minute, and the absolute best in the world can do it in around 35 seconds.
So, we have a disqualification for exceeding the time limit. However, the cut is good.
Okay, so that's another DQ in Springboard because of exceeding the time limit, this time from Huus Helen. Nothing against him. He's been fantastic all day long. He's gotten himself personal best across the board, so that is massive improvement. When it comes down to this particular discipline, though, there are so many things that need to go absolutely perfectly in order for it to work correctly that you can't say anything bad against what he did here today. Basically, it's out of the frying pan and into the fire in this situation here for him, and he did well to get up onto that second board and start working up there, but it just wasn't in the cards for him to get a time in the books today. That will probably happen next time, and you know that this is a discipline that he'll be working on to make sure that he absolutely has locked down for future events. All right, the last heat in round 2, heat number 4, and that is Koen Martens going up against Redmer Knoll. So far, Redmer Knoll's had a perfect day. Winning this discipline would just add to that overall stand that he is currently looking at. 52 points in the top spot. Ben Terpstra, after the springboard, has 48 points, just behind Redmer Knoll. Koen Martens has yet to hit in the springboard, so he's on stage with Redmer Knoll, has 42 points. So really the battle is between Redmer Knoll and Koen Martens, with Ben Terpstra bringing up the rear on those guys. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when it gets down to the hot saw. All right, here we go.
Okay, gentlemen. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Four hit pockets each. Wow, this is looking good right off the bat for both of them. Redmer Knoll a little bit behind now. Five hit pocket for Koen Martens on that second board. He is up. Redmer Knoll placing that board. He is up now, and he's got a solid board. Both of the guys looking good on those top boards now. Koen Martens with a slight advantage as he's cutting through on this one. Redmer Knoll using that power that he's got, pushing off that board. A little bit of sag, but both boards looking really, really nice as they're up on top. Pushing through. Who will switch to that awkward angle? It looks like it might be Koen Martens first. Yep, Koen Martens switching over to that other side. Redmer Knoll still working on the first side. Both of them looking at under a minute here. Koen Martens 52.78. Koen Martens. Redmer Knoll now on that second side. He's over a minute. That means he's not going to have the top spot in this one, but he should have the second fastest time if he can get through this block. Redmer Knoll does it in 1:08.63. There we go. Good fast time for Koen Martens. We knew he was quick with this one as he apes it off a little bit up top for the folks in the audience. And Redmer Knoll, a good run there, but he's got second place there in Springboard and a national record, believe it or not. So Redmer Knoll now with 66 points as we
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
get final decision there from Andrew Hall, and two national records there, one for Redmer and one for Koen Martens. So that's the only discipline thus far that Redmer Knoll has not topped. His second place in that discipline, he'll take 14 points home. But look at these first hits here, 4 hit pockets for both Koen Martens and Redmer Knoll, board in, and they got up into position to set their second pocket. This looked like it was going to be a really quick heat. Koen was just a little bit faster with his board, the number 2 board, as he got up there and started working. Redmer took his time setting that second board and making sure that he had a stand that he could work with, and he really started to go at the top block, but fortunately for him, he did get it in a good time, but unfortunately, Koen Martens was just a hair faster at 52.52. Great time for Koen Martens as Redmer Knoll got 1:08.39 officially, and there was that final driver for Redmer Knoll as he got through, and now it is 66 points for Redmer Knoll. Koen Martens in second place with 58 points. Ben Terpstra a little bit behind in third place with 44 points. So really this is going to come down to who can get the most points in the hot saw, and we'll find out where we are here with the eliminations right now. So there you see the overall standings. Knoll, Martens, Terpstra, Bergen, De Beer, Hoedschmidt. Those are the top 6 guys in the overall right now. Those will also be the top 6 guys that will move on to the next round. Arno Hoedschmidt, even with the DQ in Springboard, is in 6th place here. So now we see round 2, putting the Springboard scores in place. And that means David Bergen moves up, and it's going to be Robin Cuvillier and Guus Gelen eliminated, and Arno Hoedschmidt will be among the top 6 going on to the hot saw. All right, so there we see our top 6 remaining. Redmer Knoll, Koen Martens, Ben Terpstra, David Bergen, Elko de Beer, and Arno Hoedschmidt going on to the hot saw, which is affectionately known as the make or break discipline, and here's a clip to tell you exactly why.
This is the one and only discipline where the athletes are alone on stage.
Yeah, probably the most important event, but yeah, also the most frustrating.
These saws are so incredibly powerful and dangerous.
Usually the hot saw is the slider. Hot saw, hot saw.
Like I can't describe to you when we're out there under pressure.
Saw starts well, first disc looks solid, cut is good.
You know, you're always ending the competition on a hot saw, so you know where you're going to be at when you finish. So you're either at a real big high or just is what it is.
Nice clean cut, easy, relaxed.
Der Hot Saw ist für mich die geilste Disziplin der Welt.
5, 6, 8, Robert Ebner, 3 on the deck.
Hot saw is a love-hate for me. I honestly don't get that much enjoyment out of it. I'm not a motorhead. I swallow my pills and eat it.
Once the competition comes, anything can happen. Oh no, a false start by Sterling Hart. What a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disappointment for me. Happens though, it's part of competing.
I saw there's 3 good discs there, but then let that nose come right up underneath the crossover line.
Fortunately, a disqualification.
It all relies on the hot saw.
Oh no.
Irgendwie soll es einfach nicht sein. Und dann springt die Hot Saw nicht an, wieder mal.
Oh man, that is a bummer for Robert Ebner.
What are you taking away from this event?
Oh, probably last place. I don't know, headache. Yeah, shit hot saw. What else do you want?
If you have bad luck or if you did wrong, it's part, just your experience.
Oh my goodness, what an absolute disaster, the chain came off.
I was not disappointed because everybody see that I can be with the guys in front.
It was a bit of a disaster, so it was just operator error, and I didn't perform as well as I would have liked to.
Nice safe cut.
Oh no! Oh no!
Never prepared for that situation, but luckily it started and I've got 3 wheels and now I'm the world champion.
Yeah, it's the make or break event, you know.
I think you love and you hate it.
Das ist eigentlich immer ein geiles Ding. Ich schneide immer sehr sicher.
Oh, great start for both of these guys. Look at how quick it's going for Robert Ebner. Oh my God, Robert Ebner, he's got a world record. Holy smokes, folks.
Ich wollte das Ding heimbringen, ich wollte Weltrekord schneiden und ich danke meiner Familie zu Hause und alle, die mich unterstützt haben.
Just try to make 3 good cuts and no disqualification.
The hot saw is where it's all one, so that's the best event.
Oh yeah, that is the hot saw, and it is a beast. It is a high-performance machine, and you will hear these things in China because they are so loud. They're unbelievably powerful. The chain spinning at about 250 kilometers an hour. As we can hear in the background, the warm-ups of these saws. It is so critical that these saws work immaculately every time, but because they are such high-performance machines, they can always have something that goes pear-shaped. The motor won't start, the drawstring doesn't pull. You never know. It's so many little fiddly, kniggly things that can cause a problem. And it all comes down to being able to cut clean 3 cookies on the deck and have a good hot saw. Let's take a look at the tool and discipline that's coming up next, and then we'll get into the action.
These custom, handmade, race-tuned machines are built for maximum power and precision and to cut the wood as fast as possible in a competition. They are built with a 60 to 80 horsepower single-cylinder 2-stroke engine, often taken from a snowmobile or high-powered motorbike. The hot saw can weigh up to 30 kilograms and its chain rotates at over 250 kilometers an hour. The cost of a competition hot saw used in STIHL Timbersports is upward of 6,000 euros. Hot saw. For the hot saw, power saws are called into action, and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
There you have it, the hot saw, the maker or the breaker. These things are beasts, and they are very expensive and very finicky, as I said. You know, one small change in air temperature, in fuel quality, in oil, you name it, can all cause problems. And everybody's had their problems with these saws at one point or another. There you see one of the saws supplied by Bart Janssen and STIHL here for the event for those athletes that don't have their own saws. Usually the saws that are produced for the athletes have a little bit more customizing and stylizing, you know, colored throttle bodies and so on and so forth. So there is a ton of stuff happening here in this discipline, and you can see the Lexon shield set between the athletes as well as at the other side of the athletes to protect the people on the outside as well as the other athlete on stage. And it's only recently that they've started doing 2 on-stage competitions at the same time. So, that said, let's take a look at our lineup for the hot saw here as we get ready to go with our final 6 athletes. It's going to be Arno Hoedsmit and Elko de Beer on stage first. Then we have David Bergen and Ben Terpstra on stage, and finally Koen Martens and Redmer Knoll. That's going to be the interesting one, because that is going to be the heat that will determine who wins the BeNeLux Championship 2025, really. There you see the world record, 4.28 seconds. That was achieved by Nate Hodges of the United States of America, and that is going to be a record that may last for a while because, again, this is such a monster machine to handle. Picking it up, cutting 3 cookies within that 15 centimeter space that's marked on the block, and then keeping it in control the whole time as well. There's so many things that have to happen exactly perfect in order for the hot saw to really be exactly right. So see, here you see one of the custom machines brought out by Martin Harms. That's going to be for Elko de Beer. Arno Hoedsmit will be cutting from stand 1 and Elko de Beer on stand 2. And you can see the difference in the bar there as well. The bar on the saw from Elko de Beer is a little bit thicker through the middle and tapering off to the round point, whereas the harvester bar on the other saw from STIHL is more or less straight. You can see here all the different little aspects of the saw to make it that high performance piece of equipment, including the draw or the pull start to get it going. And these things do cut that wood like a hot knife through butter. It is insane. So the tension mounts here as we get closer and closer to these hot saw heats. And again, this is for all the marbles. 18 points up for grabs for the fastest cut on the day.
nu door de lijvenvaart van Arno en van Ilko. De adrenaline begint stilaan de bovenhand te nemen, maar het wordt natuurlijk ook moe tijdens het uitvoeren van de discipline, zeker wat betreft het springboard. En ondertussen is dat weer recupereren door de heats en hopen dat je lekker fris aan die laatste discipline kan beginnen.
Ja, mooi beeld hier zo van onder de stap, maar dan zie je ook dat daar die lijn doorgetrokken is op die 15 centimeter. De scheidsrechter schikt die lijn echt helemaal rondom. Dus mocht je inderdaad over die lijn heen komen, ook aan de onderkant van wat zou werden, nou ja, dan heb je een disqualificatie en dan doe je eigenlijk maar toch niets wat te doen.
Nogmaals, 3 cookies binnen een afstand van 15 centimeter. Heel benieuwd wat Arno en Ilko daarmee gaan doen.
We krijgen dan nog 60 seconden om de zaag een keer op te warmen en te starten. Dus begin niet meteen met filmen. Ik weet dat het gaat heel snel, maar we krijgen 60 seconden om de zaag op te warmen. De scheidsrechter doet dan een keer 30, dan zitten ze op de helft. En dan is het inderdaad het bandje starten, dan zit de athlete ready en dan is het op een gegeven moment 7
So it seems like all saws have been warmed up in the background. We have 2 saws on stage for our first heat between Arno Hoedsmet and Ilko de Beer. Just waiting on the athletes and the final go from our officiating crew that we can move forward with the competition here. And as mentioned, the tension mounts here as it is now for all the marbles, and 18 points up for grabs for the fastest cut on the day. So it's about being slow and steady. Slow is steady, steady is fast, and fast is obviously what you want.
Ja, waar kan je nu eigenlijk kopen zo'n zaak? Want ik kan me voorstellen dat dat niet overal verkrijgbaar is, zoiets.
Bij de Welkoop of de AVV in België, daar kan dat dus niet. Nee, die moet je echt bestellen.
All right, here are our guys. Arno Hoedsmet and Ilko de Beer on stage. You can see Ilko, he is opting to use the spiked shoes. Give him a little bit more purchase on the floor. And I don't blame him, quite frankly. When you've got this beast of a machine in your hands, you don't want your feet slipping around at all. All right, here we go. Time to warm him up.
Okay, gentlemen. Warm up your saws.
Well, now, that's loud. The guys have a few seconds now to rewrap those cords, get themselves ready to go, and then it will be heat on. And you can see how loud and how powerful these machines really are. Folks, I'm going to tell you this right now, before this heat begins, don't blink, because it will be over before you know it, and we'll see our first times in the blocks. And barring any disqualifications because of a cut line or incomplete cookie, we should be good to go. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, Arno Hoedsmet with an 11:10. That's a personal best for him. Great job. Ilko de Beer floating a little bit on that cut, but he got a 9.89. So that is currently the time to beat. Ilko de Beer with 18 points for the moment, but there are 2 more heats to go. Ilko de Beer making the safe cuts there, really just making sure that he had 3 cookies on the deck.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
All right, and Arno Houtschmidt with a personal best 10.97, so there you go. Well done by him. And Eelco de Beer with a 8.46 actually after adjustment. So here we see he floated a bit to get the saw into position and start the cut. Then a little bit of a chunky chop and cut on the way down and also on the way up. This final push down seemed a little bit cleaner. And from Arno Houtschmidt, very, very nice technique actually to cut through there. Good start by both saws, as we see again, just the immensity of the power of these saws as well as the weight of the saw themselves and all that's going on inside that body that's moving around, all those moving parts, and these guys having to control that. So chapeau or hats off to these guys as we get ready for our next heat with David Bergen and Ben Terpstra. These guys pretty evenly matched up here as well. If you look at their times, David with a national record 6:14 and Ben Terpstra with a personal best 6:63. So tail of the tape has them pretty evenly matched up with a slight advantage going to David Bergen. Let's see if that actually turns out to be the case as Ben Terpstra coming up onto the stage with his saw, and you can see it's another custom model with that big bulbous bar in the middle, and it looks like David Bergen also has a similar setup as it's his own company, Ben Terpstra. David Bergen, 7-time national pro champion for Belgium, so he's got pedigree, you know that.
Okay, gentlemen. Woman yours.
Okay, those saws are warm, as you can see, steaming. There's the safety line on the handle so that it doesn't end up in somebody's eye somewhere. Here we go. Don't blink, folks. Here we go.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, David Bergen has a cutout, so I think we're going to have a DQ there. Ben Terpstra with a 7.78. That's a fast time. Ben Terpstra 7.78, and I believe that we have a flag on the play here with a cut cookie. Yep, that is incomplete, so that means we're going to have a DQ for David Bergen. And Ben Terpstra will have the fastest time of the day, so Eelco de Beer will move down a spot. Ben Terpstra will now take over that 18 points, and you can see that is a thin cookie, but they do say thin to win, right?
So we have a disqualification on stand 1 for an incomplete disc. However, this cut is good.
Okay. There you can see the cuts from David and Ben. David, I believe this was the cut that was good. And then on the up cut, he had a cutout. There it is. A little bit of an angle in, and then the third cut was quite fine, so the incomplete disc was the problem, and that was the result, a DQ for David Bergen. Ben Terpstra, on the other hand, really nice cuts by him. That first one was a bit of a fat sack cookie, but he had a really nice transition on the number 2. And then he needed to have a very thin cookie on number 3. And that's what he actually had. And he was showing us this one side of the one cookie was very, very thin. All right, so now it comes down to these two gentlemen, Koen Martens or Redmer Knoll. Redmer Knoll, tail of the tape, gives it to him at the moment with a 5.82 personal best. Koen Martens 6.43. But right now, Redmer Knoll is still in control of this competition with 66 points. Ben Terpstra, after his cut, is currently in second with 62 points. Koen Martens has 58. So if Koen Martens gets first place here, yeah, it could be close. I'm not going to try and even do the math right now.
We weten zo meteen na dit laatste duel tussen onze twee toppers, Koen Martens en Redmer Knoll, wie er naar huis gaat.
So basically what it boils down to here is Koen Martens will have to get 18 points and Redmer Knoll less than third place in order for Koen Martens to win this thing. So that means Koen Martens will have to have the fastest time and Redmer Knoll will have to have the third fastest time. And then it will be a tie between the two, and then it will come down to the fastest times of the day. That is if Redmer Knoll gets third place. Good Lord, those things are loud. It is insane. All right. Last preparations. Redmer.
13 seconds.
Koen Martens. Koen Martens, massive pull handle on his saw. Absolutely huge. Redmer Knoll, just a massive saw in general. But he's a big man, he can handle it. All right, so Redmer needs to get lower than third place here, and Koen Martens needs to win the hot saw in order to have the championship. If Redmer gets fast, he'll be the winner. Here we go.
1, go!
Oh, it's going to be Redmer Knoll, 6.18 to a 6.73 for Koen Martens. Redmer obviously feeling real good. Did he have 3 good cookies on the deck? We will see, and if that's the case, then Redmer Knoll is your champion here with 84 points and the fastest time of the day. Koen Martens will be second place with a 6.73 and 15 points in the hot saw and 73 points on the day. Let's see if that actually stands. And we have thumbs up from Andrew Hall.
Okay, congratulations. Both counts are good.
There you go, Redmer Knoll's done it. He is your champion. Koen Martens gets second place in the overall, and Ben Terpstra, what a great day for him. He's got third place with 56 points. Well done as we take a look back at these cuts. Super confident, clean cuts from both of these guys. Redmer and Koen Martens both cutting nice, solid cookies. There's Koen Martens' cut as he pushes through on that last one. Shuts down the saw. Here's Redmer. He looked relaxed and easy. Oh, that was a very thin first cookie. Transition was beautiful. Thin cookie for the second one. Hey, he's been working on this. Look at those cakes that are hitting the ground. These are paper thin almost, especially considering that saw power and what's going on. So Redmer Knoll wins hot saw. Koen Martens in second place. Ben Terpstra in third. 18, 15, 12 points respectively there. And that means in our overall standings, it's going to be Redmer Knoll atop the leaderboard with 84 points. 11 points back will be Koen Martens, and then Ben Terpstra in third place with 56 points. That is your podium today, as we'll get ready for our awards ceremony on stage and bring all the guys up for the awards. So last preparations on the stage for our awards ceremony, as third and second places need to be switched. And we'll get all our guys lined up backstage to bring them up on stage. And we'll take a quick look at how this affects the European rankings now. So Red McNoll, well done for him, sitting second in the European ranking. So we'll definitely see him at the World Championships, as well as Koen Martin sitting fourth there. So they are both in good stead for the European rankings. We still do have a couple of competitions coming our way. Yeah, it's looking good for Redmer and Koen Martens here, as we'll see them at the World Championships. They're kind of perennial guys there anyway. So good job and congratulations to them. We'll see them competing in the near future. Last shovelfuls of sawdust going into the bin as our stage crew gets everything ready for the awards ceremony here. We should see John Boosmans and Atalia Gross on stage presenting the awards on behalf of STIHL Netherlands. So last little bits of preparation as our stage is set. We're just waiting on the athletes to congregate backstage so that we can make the appropriate introductions as they come up onto the stage, and we get that familial situation going on again for our awards ceremony. Hang tight, folks. We're almost there. All right, so it sounds like we're good to go for our awards ceremony here. So we will be bringing up our athletes from the day's competition here from 14th up until 4th place. And then we will introduce our top athletes. And prior to that, coming up onto the stage will be John Bosmans and Atalia Gross, who are stepping up onto the stage now to present the awards to our athletes.
Van BeNeLux Pro Championship 2025. Ik ben er klaar voor. Ik zie dat onze officials er ook klaar voor zijn. Maar eerst en vooral een applaus voor de mensen die de prijzen gaan uitreiken vandaag. Het zijn Atalia en John van STIHL. En uiteraard ook Kees Mulle. Ja, het is eigenlijk een beetje de burgemeester van dit houthakkersfeest. En dat is van die goede balen. Dus een applaus voor onze officials.
Also on stage, Kees Müller, one of the officials from the festival here that we are participating at. So, without further ado, let's bring up our athletes. Arjan van Vliet, 14 today. Then we have Cedric Feymonville. Next up, we have Florent van Reemdonk. Absolute audience favorite. One of my favorites, too. Next up, Martin Harms. As I said off the top of the show, as I repeat now, an absolute gentleman of the sport. Next up, the top 10, we have Edwin Doost. Next up, Eugen Gerdes. The Energy Bundle, who continues to perform well. And he brought that energy to the show. And number 8, this guy performed fantastic throughout the day. Guus Helen. Out of 5 events, he got personal bests in 4 of them. Then we have Robin Huvelaar, 7th place. 6th place, David Bergen. Might have been a hair higher had he scored a point in the hot saw. Unfortunately, there was a DQ there for him. And now our top 5, Arnaud Goedschmidt. Now moving on to our 4th place athlete of the day, Elko de Beer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it is our top 3 in the bronze medal position. He performed well all day long. Ben Terpstra, he was solid, he was consistent, he had a great hot saw. And by virtue of that, he is our bronze medalist here today. 3rd place on the podium for the STIHL Timbersports BeNeLux Pro Championship 2025. And then, of course, the perennial podium finisher here, Koen Martens, ever the smiling Buddha, as it were. Always fun to be around, and actually performed fantastically after coming back from surgery on his forearm and only getting to train starting in May. Koen Martens is our silver medalist, and of course the man of the hour, the man who was consistent and solid throughout the day, winning 5 of 6 disciplines. Redmer Knoll is your BeNeLux Pro Champion 2025. His star continues to rise after a confidence builder a couple of years ago, and now he is really moving up in the ranks, and we expect big things from him in the next little while. And we are going to hear the Dutch national anthem here when he steps up onto that top block. There it is, your top 3 for the STIHL Timbersports BeNeLux Pro Championship 2025. And of course, the world record in the stock saw. Great job for Redmer Knoll. All right, and now popping the corks on the wine. Finally, we get to see the spray as everybody runs for cover, as Redmer Knoll, Koen Martens, and Ben Terpstra attempt to soak the crew. I think I also, a couple of tears being fought back there by Redmer Knoll as he looked down on his little man in the audience waiting to get up there with his dad. Yeah, fantastic. There it is. All right, what a way to finish the competition here today. That is an iconic podium right there. Absolutely fantastic. Redmer Knoll, Koen Martens, Ben Terpstra, and family. Amazing. How can you tell who's been a family man longer than the others? All right, we're going to try and get an interview with Redmer Knoll on stage here shortly, so bear with us as we try and grab him. Are we looking at a future champion there? Very possibly. All right, real quick interview with Redmer Knoll, our champion here at the BeNeLux Championship 2025, as one final picture on stage with Redmer.
Ja, Redmer, opnieuw BeNeLux kampioen. Deze keer van 2025. Hoe voelt dat?
Ja, heel goed eigenlijk. Ja. Ja, ik had erop gehoopt en ja, het is me weer gelukt. Dus daar ben ik wel heel blij mee.
Van welke disciplines ben je nu het meest tevreden? Wat je vandaag hebt laten zien?
Underhand en hot saw wel. Ja.
Ja, oké. Heb je nu in het bijzonder meer getraind voor dit kampioenschap dan vorige kampioenschappen? Of heb je een tandje bijgestoken, zoals ze zeggen?
Nou, ik had eigenlijk meer getraind op Springboard, omdat Koen daar wel verdomd goed in is. Dus die wou ik eigenlijk van hem winnen, maar ja, dat valt niet mee. Koen is daar gewoon heel goed in. Dus,
Ja, daar ben ik eigenlijk wel benieuwd naar. Zou je het Koen gegund hebben dat hij opnieuw de titel had verdiend? Of zeg je van nee, ik heb recht voor getraind en ik heb hem verdiend?
Nou, we hebben er beide wel recht op, want ja, hij is ook gewoon heel goed.
Kijk eens, en daar komt de zoon ook weer al bij staan. Ja. Ik denk dat hij super trots is op jou.
Ja, volgens mij ook.
Ja, okay.
Hij wil graag ook even zingen, denk ik.
Goed, wij zien jou morgen natuurlijk ook terug aan de start van de European Trophy. Ben je daar klaar voor? Want je hebt natuurlijk nu al een hele dag het beste van jezelf laten zien.
Ik heb thuis gezegd dat ik beide wou winnen. Dus
jongens, okay.
Eentje is gelukt, dus
ja, maar
nog eentje.
We verwachten wel iets en de lat ligt wel heel hoog nu, hè?
Ja, klopt. Ik heb een keer eerder gewonnen, dus ja, dan wil je wel altijd nog een keer winnen.
Oké, in ieder geval een dikke proficiat met wat je vandaag hebt laten zien. We zijn super blij dat jij weer de BeNeLux kampioen 2025 bent. En heel veel succes voor morgen.
Dankjewel.
Hallo.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Our last interview with Redmer Knoll. What a day it's been today. We had the women, then we had the rookies, and then we had the men. And the men's competition was just fantastic. Redmer Knoll, Knut Martens, and Ben Terpstra, 1, 2, 3 on that podium. We hope you enjoy the day. And now we hope you enjoy our highlights as we close it down. Please join us again tomorrow for the European Championship, the European Trophy. See ya.